Don't forget my name.
Bye, Michael.
I won't, Caden.
Wow.
Well,
Didn't realize the bird could talk all this time.
Well, Michael could.
Just learned how.
Oh, Michael.
Michael and Telby can actually both talk now because
Abby awoke.
Abby cast Awakening on both of them as a going away present. Is everybody okay?
I am actually doing up a little bit better than that.
Aw.
The mood music is what really did it.
Yeah, give me a little chills.
Hour of Bardbot.
It's a big old, gross, snotty group hug.
This is no germs.
Too bad, you gotta get the hug anyway.
Oh, now it's playing.
This is our travel music.
Ah, all right then.
Our road trip music.
Well, from there, as morning comes, you guys make your way back to Farhold, I assume, to meet up with Caitlin and tell her what the situation's going to be from here on. Caitlin.
Caitlin, we need you here. So Karasu doesn't lose everything.
Caitlin agrees, and she
Protect my investments, please.
she's managed to collect enough influence to mostly stay in Baron Vandermeer's manor for now, at least until his immediate family, gets news of him being eaten by a dragon. And she expects that she'll be living comfortably here for a while. She'll send letters.
Thank you for...
Cool, we'll be pen pals.
And the orphans will get to stay here nice and warm.
Good. Make sure they get 3 meals a day.
I mean, of course.
Tira does not mention that he only gave them 2.
From that point, I think you said that you were going to travel by horse and carriage.
Yep.
Because someone's afraid of water.
Pretty much.
Hey, listen. If he had a life preserver, he would travel by water.
Those haven't been invented yet,
Just
sadly.
imagining Tira with water wings and scuba
no.
gear.
Wait. Do you remember that shirt that Zariel has?
The inflatable shirt, yes.
If only we
It's
had...
not inflatable, but
If
The
only
never
we
drowning
have that...
breastplate.
If only we have that here in this campaign, we would give it to Tira in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
about
don't know if Jared could wear a breastplate, though. Probably.
It's not even that so much as we don't really have any use for that outside of this one unique situation.
Okay, fair point. At the moment. As opposed to...
No, I mean, we are on an island.
Yeah, but we stay inland for the most part.
That's
Gastenhall is the weird one where we're actually sticking around at coastal plates.
Actually, Farhold's kind of coastal, too.
Yeah... We'll hold it kind of...
Funnily enough, I don't remember a bit of dealing with the water while we were there.
And,
And Valentine's rather close to the water, too.
not wanting to ruin the mood,
Uh-oh.
Tyron just decides to leave a note in Addie's bag and kind of just disappears into the night.
Well, I still gave him a chance to, speak his mind, because he was glaring at the group.
Listen, if he spoke his mind, he might well have actually died.
He's not going to speak his mind when Grumblejack is standing there.
With a very, very big sword. In fact, it might as well just be a hammer dressed up like a sword.
Right. Well then.
In many pictures, it's a mace for some reason.
Even though he never actually, his sheet never actually says.
It's a mace. No, it always says that he has a sword.
So weird.
Now, was that all your affairs settled in Farhold?
Yes.
Quokka's typing, so.
Not into plagues. I like living. I like living in Talengard. Have a good time. Leave me out of it. I hope I don't see you again. Wow, what an asshole!
Love Tyrion.
Isa just glances at Abby and, you know.
Yeah, you guys have,
Should I? Oh, you already know. Okay. Oh, hi, Jax. Hello.
you guys have had kind of a bad run of luck with your cohorts.
Well, some of them.
It seems like they all might be jerks. Imagine that.
We're doing Wicked tonight.
I know that. I know what we're doing. I
Over
know
what?
what campaign we're doing tonight. I just don't know what we're doing in said campaign. Other than beach episode.
You guys have just wrapped up some things in Farhold.
Okay.
Tyron just left with a note, with a passive-aggressive note.
Yeah.
Telperion left, Michael left. You've decided to leave Caitlin Mott behind, along with 7 of the Wolfpack, to keep an eye on Karasu's investments while they're gone.
Uh-huh.
And Dustin's finally decided to join the party because he didn't want to die an ignoble death of disease. And Kaiden told a bit of his backstory about how he was part of the Third Knot and failed to assassinate the king, and his entire knot got wiped out.
Yup.
Except for him.
Except for
It
him.
wasn't a fun time.
And then he got rescued by Theodora.
Everyone gets fucking rescued by Theodora.
Hey.
And also the Wraiths betrayed
hate
you.
Oh yeah, the Wraith betrayed us, but
The Wraiths betrayed you and ate, like, most of your minions.
It's fine.
But there's still
Yeah, it's fine.
a few... There's still members of the Wolfpack left. And I think that's it.
Wrong. Oni, I was so very wrong.
What's up?
So very what?
Tira had way more followers.
God.
What's his leadership score currently?
It's character level plus charisma. And how many of these modifiers would I be adding? Because if I just give you the base number, Tira had 35 Wolfpack.
Oh my god.
The base number...
We could easily say 3/4 stayed with the.
Okay, so you had 18 because you were level 10 currently, right? And you have plus 2... You have a plus 8 of some sort to your leadership score?
No, I was looking at just Gates modifier.
Oh, well, yeah, that explains it. What's Tira's charisma?
Okay, so 4. So it was actually pretty close. It's not 14. It's 16. 16
Yep.
followers. He has
Yes,
a leadership
Tira
score of
has
14.
Tira has 15 level 1 thug followers and 1 level 2 thug follower.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Also, because my wireless earbuds are charging, tonight is the return of Jax catching his earbuds on
okay.
his knee and ripping them out of my ear.
Oh,
Okay. And going with your reputation stuff, Great Renown, no, you are secret. Fairness and generosity, certainly not.
Hey,
Special...
not from the party, but I think Tira is pretty. Maybe not generous, but definitely fair.
Special power? I'll say that gun is a special power in this place.
Yeah.
Talonguard doesn't have guns.
Failure? No. Aloofness? Kind of, yeah, because you do
Right,
spend a lot of time in the Plane of Shadows. But you do take care of your own. So maybe I won't give you aloofness. Cruelty? Not to your minions.
Yeah.
Cool. So I
The
have
leader has familiar special mount or animal companion. No. Cause the death of a cohort. Is Duskade the same alignment as Tira?
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't kill Duskade, so Stronghold not anymore. Moves around a lot.
I don't think
Well,
I move around a lot.
not a. I guess not. Like usually you're staying in a place for at least a month or so, so maybe in later books you'll get that. And cause the death of other followers.
No.
Well, I don't know about that. There was that one incident with the frog people.
You did have to. You did have. I think you had to execute one of the Wolfpack members for failure,
That too.
but that's not quite enough. So
Cool. So Tira
Yeah.
has 23 Wolfpack.
yeah, but still, we'll cut that in half and say you got 11. Because guess what? You got to buy a lot of wagons. Caitlin can only do so much. Because it is Avi, Isel, Duskade, Grumblejack, Kaiden, Karasu, Lielda, Ren,
Needs his own damn card.
Tira,
Yeah.
Valeria, who she's still hanging around, Dostin, Bianca, Renza, Caitlin Mott, Trick, and Track. And
Carson
11
says he doesn't need a lot of space.
And 11 orphans. All together. In a
Oh, right.
big old convoy.
Cool.
I thought we were agreeing to have Caitlin Mott stay.
Oh, right, Caitlin Mott. Yeah, no, never mind. Caitlin Mott isn't there.
Yeah, stay in Farhold. Yes, Quokka, I remember the marriage thing. So of course we're gonna have Valeria come with us.
Yeah.
And,
And somehow on the trip there, they put together a plan to become the Italian mob.
and
Yes.
I think that does that. I think I'll say that
Hell yeah.
Caitlin gets some decent horses together and some wagons and sends you on your way.
What are these little, like, title blurb things? That's cute.
I don't know. I just kind of got inspired by Fire Emblem Heroes.
I figured. I
uh,
like them. I like how Grumblejack is the best one.
he is the best one.
Because he is.
She
He
is.
is.
No one dislikes him. All right.
Wait, what?
Was
Grumblejack.
David ever here for
Oh.
Lealda and Valeria's interactions? No? Did they-
Yeah, some of them.
He's also ended up having to watch one of the sessions all the way.
Yeah, I know you.
Oh god, do we still have our hellhounds too?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope so.
You have all of your hellhounds and your horse.
Okay, the horse doesn't matter as much because Lealda can just summon him, can't she?
He can come and go from the material plane if he needs to.
Okay. Lealda could also just fucking ride the horse instead of
Being in the
cart.
wagon, yeah. So the trip begins in Farhold, takes you across. Basically, you have to follow the edge of the little lake here for a little while until you make your way into the Borderlands and eventually the Heartland. Basically, over the course of a week, you travel until you reach the Heartland, which is just miles and miles of fields and farmers and stuff like that. It starts to get really Kansasy, where there's not a whole lot to see.
What the fuck are you saying about Kansas?
I mean, I would have said like Great Plains-y or Alberta-y or Saskatchewan-y, but you guys aren't from Canada, so.
Yeah, but I'm from Kansas.
Oh, well.
There's tons to see in Kansas.
Well, whatever.
Except in that one part where you can just be driving straight and fall asleep on the road and wake up and you're still going straight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pick
I
a
think that's what he meant.
pick a state with miles of empty farmland everywhere.
Kansas.
Virginia!
All right.
Yeah, Virginia.
Not Pennsylvania.
Wisconsin.
Southern Idaho.
That's another good one.
You're-
California, actually.
Any Midwestern state, honestly.
The journey through the Heartland is very peaceful. Most of the people are too quiet or too scared to really bother with you guys very much, because there's a whole war going on. There's a bugbear army kicking all sorts of ass off to the east over here, which is where all those little, like Loring's-Gate, Up Ayrshire Ford, Tarrington Fields, those are all battle sites where Kakarot Fireaxe has been kicking all kinds of ass.
Tara still writes.
Yes.
Yeah. Kakarot writes back when he can. It's not too often, though, because he's pretty busy.
He's pretty busy.
Yeah. Through the Heartland, you eventually make your way to the edge of the Cambrian Bay. And the Cambrian Bay is an inland bay. I don't know if there's a whole lot of tidal activity, probably a little bit. Finding a sandy beach is a bit of a struggle. It's more like rocky shores. But I will say that if... actually, you know what? Make a survival check. Make a survival check.
Okay.
Abby.
To find a sandy beach.
I will make sand. Oh, it helps if I signed into my character sheet.
Good job, Abby.
Yeah. Alright. So, after 2 weeks,
Boss.
not far from Gaston Hall, Avi does find a very nice, fine sand beach.
Oh, we'll show us the beach.
Beautiful.
Uh,
Beach episode?
There's a few families from Gaston Hall that have gathered here and are sunning or whatever people did in the medieval times at beaches.
Well, we'll show us the beach.
It appears that Avi has decided to stop.
Oh dear. Oh, a whole tree. Okay, that might actually help because yeah. Damn for your issues.
Also, light sensitive fetchling issues.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. damn
Tara
for your
doesn't want to
issues.
come out of the carriage. It's light out.
That's why Abby's getting a
The
tree.
Yeah.
And, yeah, the beach is a beach. Don't really have any plans for this beach, so guys, just RP what you want to.
Howard trips and starts tanning.
Oh my gosh.
Meanwhile, Abby and Karasu are trying to convince Tira to get under the goddamn tree.
Can a fire Sully tan?
I was
Oh,
about
what?
to say I don't
Not
know.
easily.
I was gonna say, can a drow tan? Would she just get more
No.
purple?
Listen,
I don't-
think a drow tan's like a black person.
Yeah, I'm
They
gonna-
just-
I was gonna say, hey V, I've never asked this question of an African person before.
Okay, so let me tell you what I said.
But you can get sunburned, right?
Yes, black people don't tan, we burn.
Like,
So I would assume that's what happened.
I mean, but Leelda isn't fully drow, so she's not like.
she is half drow. She's a much lighter shade of purple, and it will. You can bake a little bit.
She gets a little darker purple.
Yeah, like you can get to like kind of a plum color if you really tan it out for a long time.
I'm just going for trunk orange.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I have to say this now. I don't think Damphiers can actually tan.
They
Can
could.
they
be ill-advised.
Can they even be out in the sun?
They can be
Yes.
out in the sun. They probably don't get much from it though.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Leelda, being half serf herself, enjoys the sun quite a lot, even if it is a little unbearable after a while.
Renza will absolutely be playing in the sand, making sandcastles and stuff.
Tira thinks about it. He says, "That's right. We need to make sandcastles." So Tira steps out in his full musketeer.
Oh my god.
Okay, can Karasu's sleight of hand just start slowly picking things off of Tira?
Oh no, here we go.
He can try. Tira's gonna see him coming. I'm just saying.
Karasu's gonna try, damn it. Oh god, rolling low, fantastic. Yep. If only I'd rolled higher.
Tira slaps his wrist and says, "No, no."
No.
And Karasu grabs his wrist and is like, "Are you really trying that? Are you really trying that?"
Tira says, "Yes." No.
In what way?
Tira says, "Leave me. I must build sandcastles with my daughter."
You're not building sandcastles with your daughter in full musketeer gear.
Yes, I am.
You're gonna break the castle!
No, I won't.
You're gonna
Yes, you will!
You're gonna
Here, hold my gun.
Do you know how hard sand is to get out of capes?
Do you know how hard this gets sound out of guns?
Dusky.
That too.
And Dusky says, "I know prestidigitation. Got this."
You'll get overheated.
Dusky, stop! You're not helping.
Dusky
You will
goes
get
to
heat
three.
sickness.
Tira says, "No, I
You
won't."
will heat sickness. You will die. You will literally die.
No. Tira like
Sparsu-
starts dragging himself across the sand.
Yeah. Leelda kind of
This
just
gets
looks
pulled
up
across.
at him from the sandcastle building. It's like pretty hard to move across sand and armor, ain't it?
Tira says, "No, it's easy. It's hard to move with the kitsune and a T."
Wow, that is awfully rude.
If you, that Abby and Karasu are willing to let him keep everything but the coat. Just take off the coat.
Tira says, "But this coat is my identity."
No one is going to know.
No one is stealing your identity. We just don't want you to die from the heat. Your
Don't-
daughter doesn't want you to die from the heat.
Dostin and Grumblejack are doing that
Trick,
thing
you
with
pansy, show some skin. Sorry, go ahead.
What's that?
Dostin and Grumblejack are doing that thing with Gladio and Noctis, where they're training by running across the sand. And Dust
Oh my God.
and Dostin is clearly much better at it than Grumblejack. Grumblejack's legs just sort of sink in.
Rip.
Aw.
Meanwhile, Trick and Bianca are talking to each other while Track just sort of sulks.
Aw.
Oh, too bad for him.
Yeah. Gosh, if he doesn't want to have fun, so be it. But Tira's gonna have fun, damn it.
Can I use my knowledge engineering to...
To what?
To what, sorry?
Can I use my knowledge engineering to...
Ah.
You got it out!
You keep cutting out as soon as you say knowledge engineering to...
build a sandcastle?
Ah, yes.
Great.
Ebony was going to knowledge nature to talk down to him from
I
whatever.
thought he was going to try to do something about staying cool in his heavy clothes. He said he has to.
So
Tira cracks his
Leona,
fingers because he's actually never done this.
Karasu
not
offers Karasu offers his advice because he wants to build, you know, like the Himeji castle.
Abby will contribute her knowledge nature about sand and how to make it stick and everything.
Yeah. Tira starts...
Leona eventually starts digging a pit off to the side.
Yeah. Tira
He
starts...
wants to make a fire pit.
Tyr starts measuring out the angles and the quantities and stuff to make a really nice looking sandcastle. But Renza's like, Dad, you're being boring.
Boring!
Like Renza's sandcastles are really just glorified piles of sand, but they are.
Sick.
But she has made several of them in the time that it's taken you to make half of one.
Abby,
Tira says, I promise. It'll look great.
Like she,
Karasu,
can grow
can
flowers
Karasu
out of
use sleight of hand to help speed up the process of building castles?
you can do what you want, guys. It's sandcastle building.
Oh my god! Karasu has just built a scale model of the Himeji castle in sand. We don't know how it's possible, but he did it.
It's got little samurai inside and everything.
The hermit
attention
crabs.
to
He brought some hermit crabs in there to patrol the walls and everything.
Renza points at one of.
Leona's, making a fire pit, and she's
Yeah.
like, we don't even need fire. If I just had some lava, we could have a lava pit.
I don't think they have lava here.
Unfortunately.
But how
Renza.
about this?
How?
Tonight we can build a bonfire. Do you like the sound of that, Leelda?
She actually smiles for once. It's just the thought of a giant towering fire that's taller than her is a very good idea. She loves it.
What's my daughter doing?
She's tugging on your sleeve and saying, "Dad, look, I made the horn." And it's really just another pile of sand.
Aww.
You know what? You're right. That looks
Hey.
amazing.
And Karasu is just like, you caught it perfectly, Renza.
I mean, it's accurate to the horn in the Shadow Plane now.
Yeah.
Tira says that's exactly what the horn. I remember it clear as day.
Oh gosh.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Tira's trying to enjoy the beach, but on the inside he's just, why are we still here? Just to summer.
Karasu feels a disturbance, and then he looks at Tira and he's like, I feel like you're not really enjoying yourself here.
Yeah.
Isol's enjoying
Maybe,
it.
maybe the beach life isn't for you. Why don't we go out for a swim?
I mean,
But what's wrong? Why do you look so pale?
I'm always pale, you prick.
Isol just glances at Kaiden Tira and I have always been pale.
Leelda kind of leans her head back and Tira's scared of the water.
There's nothing to be scared of.
Tira says you lie.
You can hold your breath. It's fine.
Tira,
You'll
we-
go limp and you'll
We all
float up
know
to the
you're
top.
scared
Here, I'll
of the
show
water.
you.
So you're on the Viking ship.
I'm gonna pick up Tira and throw him into the ocean.
Oh,
Alright, make a combat maneuver check.
I'm
I don't believe Tira has any melee weapons, so he can't make an AOO on you.
And too bad he's kind of not within Isol's melee range, otherwise she totally tackled him.
Don't ask where Karasu is keeping it, but he'll use his Kusarigama to trip Kaiden.
That's a
Too
large...
late, Abby's already
Looking like-
wants the head. Oh my god.
Okay.
Uni, I wish we were recording this, Uni.
I am recording it now.
Yes! Thank you!
The best.
21!
Does that beat Tira's CMD?
Oh no. The pass from B.
Was that a
It's
no?
been fun. It's been fun, Tira.
Oh.
Oh god.
Alright, Kaiden,
Tira.
Kaiden, you pick up Tira and hold him over your head.
Cool. Kaiden goes
God.
running into the ocean.
But what about Abby? Because she's fucking turned into
Abby
a
says she
dinosaur.
turned. Karka says Abby turned into a dinosaur to jump on.
On
I'm
Kaiden.
not gonna let them drown.
Listen,
Show them
Okay,
that the
but we
ocean's
had
not
to
gonna be
give
afraid.
we
I
had
think
to
both-
give Kaiden the chance to suplex Tira.
listen. Both Abby and Karasu are like chasing after, like, oh my, like Kaiden just stole the goddamn, you know, I don't know, Dalai Lama or something.
And then he suplexes them into the waves.
I was thinking of the crystal skull for some
Well,
weird
Tira,
reason.
it's been fun. You're gonna die.
No, it's not.
He's not gonna die.
Oh my god.
I don't actually know who's faster between a Megaraptor and Kaiden at this level.
I think it would be close.
Let's see. Speed is
Megaraptor is 60 feet.
60 feet. So he is. They're the
They're
same.
tied. Alright. So,
But Kaiden's also carrying Tira.
that's true.
Tira doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah, if Tira's just dead weighting it, then yeah, Kaiden would be able to run at full speed as long as he's not within his medium load or heavy load.
Also, if Tira hasn't got rid of his coat and ammo, Kaiden will throw that off of him as well, so it doesn't get super soaked.
Yeah, I kind of need that ammo.
How very considerate.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Like I
once
said, I
you
know what I'm doing here.
once you get about chest deep into the water, Kaiden, you get just full body tackled by a big dinosaur,
This does not help Tira at all.
and there's just an enormous splash of water.
Well, it's been fun, Tira.
Karasu dives into the water like a Baywatch lifeguard to go get Tira.
Let me just see if he can flail his way.
Yeah,
Because
roll swim check. Does Tira Does Tira have a flaw? Does he have like a penalty to swim?
Yes.
Oh boy.
It's it's not. I don't think it's a heavy penalty. I think he can do it.
He has enough people around him to help him.
Yes.
Hey, he did it.
You managed to surface your head, assuming that's like the flailing human and dinosaur limbs don't smack you in the face.
And just enough time for Carson to flip out the water.
Now you guys know exactly how bad he is.
It's not great.
Looks at this and sighs and pondering if she actually needs to fail Kaiden out of trouble for this one. But she almost-
Nah, we'll let him.
No, I think I got it.
but
I'm
she's
gonna
only
suplex whatever this dinosaur is.
Oh gosh.
She already knows
Yeah,
that she's gonna end up
water
having to
wrestling.
heal people today. She can already
Oh
tell.
gosh.
Rules of nature!
Yeah, Karasu definitely goes to... Because Kaiden is obviously not letting Abby get away. Karasu goes to rescue the poor fetchling from this chaos.
Tira just clings to Karasu for dear life.
It's a swim check.
Did someone have profession cook?
You know, I was kind of assuming Lealda would because, you know, fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Azel does. Azel
I
can
do.
cook.
Congratulations, guys. You managed to give Tira another traumatic water experience.
That was not
Okay.
Kaiden's fault. That was Abby's fault.
No, I think it was.
Oh,
I
hey,
think
look
it
at
No
was-
one
this.
is free from blame here.
Yeah, I think everyone's at fault.
Even though Isol and Lealda were technically helping Rinza.
Honey,
And
What's
Lealda
up?
was preparing for dinner.
Tira has profession soldier and
Profession what?
profession soldier and cook.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I remember because
Trek
Because
eventually decides to do something, and he helps Grumblejack locate a something that the group can eat for dinner. Basically, it involves Trek standing on a rock while Grumblejack wades around in the water, and then he points and says, "There!" And Grumblejack smashes his sword down.
that's cool.
And then he reaches in and he pulls out an enormous crab, like the size of a human being.
Cool.
Holy shit.
Damn.
impressive.
And he drags it over to the fire pit.
Tira says, "You want me to do something with this?"
Yeah, if you can. Looks tasty.
Alright. So you don't raw dog it or anything.
To your modifier.
I don't think you know what raw dogging means.
17.
Ah, mine's at 16.
We can work together.
Yeah, you
That
can
is
aid. You
true.
can aid another.
Oh right.
Assist me.
Son of a bitch!
You suck.
Luckily, that still counts as an assist.
Yep.
It does. 26.
You make a pretty darn good batch of crab legs.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Tira is much better at this than Nix.
You brought some cooking equipment and some spices and stuff like that with you to help. Oh, and some butter. Lots of butter.
Oh yeah, lots of butter.
Shadow butter.
Shadow?
Shit, meadow butter.
Isol has not tried shadow butter before. This would be
Exactly.
exotic shadow butters. Thank you.
No lie, I was taking a sip of milk when I read that, so
Exotic butters.
something dangerous almost happened.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Only the healthiest fetch cows.
Well, what if you hadn't tackled him while they were in the water?
Cows raised in the shade are
I can understand that you were trying
notoriously
to, you know,
tastier.
think of Tira's
How now, Black Cat?
feelings, but at the same time,
Did Zerna Kanan have, fucking cows?
No. No, it did not.
No way you fucking said that.
Zernikanen had bats and giant bats and giant evil crows and
just utter crap.
a lot of lizards and unknowable tentacled horrors, which were pretty tasty.
Okay, so Lealda has probably never had a dairy product in her life.
Elder doesn't know what butter is.
Probably
No.
not, because I don't
Yeah,
think
no, she's
I don't think any mammals live down there except for like bats, and I don't think you would be milking bats.
No.
I mean, maybe the giant ones, but it's probably not recommended.
Well, good. The shadow butter will be her first taste of dairy.
Drow are horribly lactose intolerant. No, they're not. That's fine.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Actually, they might very well be. That sounds like it could be a legit thing.
Well, I mean, if you don't have dairy, like that's
You're gonna
why-
be lactose intolerant.
That's why I'm lactose intolerant. Is because I went for a couple years having very little dairy,
Oh, jeez.
except for like hard cheeses, and that's why I'm lactose intolerant now.
Wow, I didn't know that could happen. I better be careful.
Yeah, if you stop, like, that's why I, like, get paranoid. Like, if I go a day without having dairy, I'm immediately like, no, I'm gonna go lactose intolerant, I can't. It's not that quick, but, I know it's not that quick, but I get paranoid.
I haven't had dairy in years.
Well,
Oh, God.
You're probably already doomed.
I have dairy daily.
That being
But
said,
also, you naturally get more lactose intolerant as you grow older.
that being said, for the really rich families in Zernikanen, you can have food from the surface imported if you're a weirdo like that, and you don't like mushrooms all the time.
See, Leelda probably was raised as drow as possible, minus the fact that she couldn't fucking see anything.
She had a little bit of dark vision, but not as much as the other kids.
She had low light vision.
Oh, did she not have dark vision? Oh.
No.
Oh no, not at all. That's why she was clinging to Vlad most
Yeah,
of the
no,
time
she
during
only
such
has low light
darkness.
vision. She
Okay.
only has low light vision, so I kind of just imagine her like slamming into walls.
Yeah, like
as
the
a kid,
yeah
and,
the
like, tripping over things.
yeah the interior of the city would mostly be fine because it's pretty well lit, sort of, with all the evil magic flame and the lava. But yeah, anywhere in the caverns, you'd be tripping all over yourself.
How those fucking kids found out she couldn't see in the dark is beyond her.
Because she kept running into walls.
Probably because you went into an alley or something, and you went to play and you went somewhere dark and it wasn't a big
and
deal.
couldn't fucking see.
Yep. And then they decided to make fun of you because they're kids and they're evil aligned.
And they're jerks.
Yep.
And kids
That
are just
usually
mean in
comes with
general.
being evil aligned.
And a kid.
So Grumblejack is like, hey, watch this. And he takes one of the crab legs, and he just manages to suck, like, all of the meat out, even though it's, like, the length of a man's arm. It's
Sure
a
wants
Okay.
to try that. What's the check?
it's a terrible
Impressive.
it's a terrible sound. Just,
Fascination. And
Well,
Percy
check.
also says, in my homeland, that's actually good manners right there.
it's a constitution check.
Awesome.
Oh, wait, from all of us or to Grumble?
No, just
for
no, to
to
slurp
try
on the-
to try and drink a man's arm. Alright, Tyr succeeded somehow.
Okay.
What? Oh my god.
It's a con check?
It's probably because he's been sucking dick, but
Did I hear? There was no way I
Yeah,
got that right.
yeah.
There was
You
no
know,
did, you
Karasu,
did.
Karasu gets nervous because he's like, oh wow. He's getting flustered.
You said it's a con check?
Yeah,
Yes.
to try and suck an entire enormous crab leg meat out of the shell parts.
Oh,
All at
Leona's
once.
gonna try and fail terribly. She's too gay for this.
She is.
She immediately starts choking. Someone will have to perform the Heimlich maneuver.
Kaiden performs
Okay,
the Heimlich
yeah, I so
maneuver
volunteer.
to suplex Leelda.
No, not suplex. Heimlich maneuver. There's a difference.
Alright, strength.
No, if he suplexed
Alright,
Oh god, I was
Because
literally
suplex
just
the crab meat out of her.
I was literally.
I need a strength check or a heal check for Heimlich.
Check it is.
Heal.
Get her.
Oh god.
Abby uses survival at 17. Is that enough?
No, I think that's.
Oh no! Abby is heal now.
By your
Leona-
powers combined.
Leelda's okay.
We managed to keep Lealda from joking, and let me tell you, Karasu just kind of glares at Lealda like, if we had to bring you back again from that.
You kind sort of auras her solar plexus until she coughs it out while Abby holds her.
She just wipes her mouth and is like, that was the worst experience of my life.
Grumblejack.
And now I'm so sure that she can't do it.
Actually, I was going to say Grumblejack was laughing his ass up, but no, everyone was laughing their ass off at that.
Not Isol. Isol was terrified.
I mean, even Lealda's laughing.
Well,
Like, you know,
Lealda's
when-
laughing, then that'll
When,
help.
okay, like, when she's able to breathe, she just starts laughing. And it's kind of weird because Lealda doesn't laugh, but she just couldn't help it. It was fucking hilarious.
That's a bonding moment.
Lealda almost died.
How was death for you, Lealda? Didn't we like have a discussion before where we like agreed that she was like the most evil person?
Yes.
Yes, she was. The line for her judgment was short and heading straight to some guy with horns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And she was like,
what's the afterlife like for
I
the
didn't-
rest of us?
And Lealda's like, I didn't have to read all the magazines that were there.
Well, that's a blessing for you.
It was moving pretty damn fast.
Lealda
The issues of teen,
There you go.
because this is like 70 or 80 years after. The issues of Teen Vogue are even older now.
Oh god.
Well, no wonder why Isol was, saying definite blessing for you to Lealda because Isol was stuck having to read those super old magazines like 3 times.
Oh, rip.
Yeah, remember, Isol got killed like at least 3 times.
Oh, really?
No, I think it's only been 2 so far.
Oh, okay,
Probably.
yeah.
She's only been 2. She's really
Vlad has been
gotten
killed
really
no
close.
times.
Vlad has legit died 3 times. It's true.
But,
Did he?
Yes.
Well, remember, vampirism, that's dead.
Oh,
That's
yeah, you're right.
You die. Then he died in the campaign, and then he technically died again in the last
Last session when he got his heart ripped out and replaced by a vampire heart.
Back
Yeah.
to life more often than Goku.
God.
Well, Isol will be joining them shortly because I should go ahead and go vampire route for Isol. That,
Yes.
I'm still thinking that.
Well, here's the thing.
Embrace your true
If
vampire.
Isol becomes a vampire,
It's really hard.
it'll be difficult because she can't do any heals at all. Her channels will become negative at all times.
That is untrue.
I mean,
I was about to say, Chiyo-Witty channels negative energy.
I don't.
No.
That's a good question, actually, because
Chiyo-Witty
you make
channels negative energy.
you make the choice at level 1 first of all.
It's not a choice.
So if
That's
you're-
kind of negative because she's a following evil god.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Yeah. So yeah, she is already channeling negative, so she can heal herself with her bad vibes.
She's been able to heal
There
herself
are
with
ways to
vampires.
become a vampire in this campaign.
In this one?
Yeah.
Yes, there are.
Okay.
Dominic became a vampire. He was in this campaign.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Also, I will say that when the whole, like, oh, Lealda, what was it like when you died conversation happened, she kind of goes like, yeah, I saw, like, one of these kids that bullied me when I was a kid that got fucking torched. I stuck my tongue out at him. It was a good time.
he was still in the lineup.
Probably.
Jeez.
Because, I mean, that kid probably just would have grown up to be just a normal.
And it was a boy Drow that got killed
Yeah,
by Lyle
yeah,
too.
that's the boy that got killed.
By Lyle, but yes. I know Vlad had a hand in it, but it was Lyle that ultimately killed him, okay?
Oh no, Lyle definitely killed a guy.
Vlad
see,
just knocked two
Lealda-
kids out.
Yeah, Vlad has no intention to kill children, believe it or not.
Yeah, but Vlad was the one that helped with the Drider and the spiders in the lava.
That's true.
So Lealda
Actually,
like remembers
TK.
Vlad.
TK is the one that threw the Drider in.
Oh yeah.
He did. He
Yeah.
used the ring of the ram to just bash it in.
Yeah, but
Blasted
it was
into the lava.
Vlad and Nyx that like talked the guard down.
Yeah, somehow, despite
Nyx,
the Driders being
let's
like
talk
10,000
the
gold
guard
each.
Nyx less talked the guard down more by sticking his arm in lava. They're like,
Yeah.
You're too drunk for me to deal with.
Yeah, she'd probably end up telling them that story. She's like, oh yeah, you want to know how I became an arsonist? A random group of people killed a guy and then helped me throw spiders and a Drider into the lava forge.
I mean, she
I
had.
wonder what that clip was up to.
I mean, she had a habit of throwing spiders into the lava before that, but.
Yeah, but she always got scolded.
And she wasn't scolded by the party.
They encouraged it.
Yeah, but
mean-
the
Most
guard
of
came
them
to scold her.
how's the rest of? How's the rest of the party?
How many times do I have to tell you to stop?
At this point, TK's.
Alexis was having to keep straight face as much as possible.
I think
believe it or not,
I'm
TK.
still alive.
I think at this point, yeah, Vlad would be alive, Nyx would be alive, TK I think is dead at this point. Actually, this is 10 years. Vasam is probably alive. I think he's a sylph, so he'd be alive.
Yeah, Basanta's Sylph. Alexis is human.
So
He's
she's
super alive.
either dead or very old. And Nim is an old lady.
Yeah.
Because halflings live a bit longer than humans do.
Yeah. Everybody outlives humans.
Yeah, except for
TK
orcs.
isn't a human.
Half orcs don't live as long as humans do.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, it's either Lyra that's having to roll the throne or her children.
Can I just point out that no one in any of our campaigns has played a dwarf yet?
I don't want to play it.
No!
Yeah, dwarfs are.
Actually, Uni, hold up.
What?
I thought that Korka had a plan at one point to have, what was it, Korka? A dwarf that would do Heaven's Oracle?
Okay, so we pack up and leave this team.
Oh, it was
bonding
the
Yeah.
elf.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, we had our fun day at the beach.
Mm-hmm. And it's only a couple more days until you get to Gaston Hall. V, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Renza prefers to sleep in the Plane of Shadow. Do you allow her to?
Sure, Tira will go with her.
Okay. One fine evening on the Plane of Shadow.
One fine evening. How do we know?
Pretty much always.
Listen, if the Drow have a way of timekeeping, I'm sure they have a way of timekeeping in the Shadow Plane.
Illusions.
I think there's still a sun, it's just shitty.
Yeah.
Shitty son.
Basically, you guys warp in, and it happens to be at the same time as a small number of armed fetchlings, and one fetchling that appears to be very bulky with thin black wings coming out of his back and claws on his hands. Seem to be patrolling by. And they turn and they look at you two. And
We have our disguises on.
No, this is only in the Shadow Plane. We're not there. It's only Tira and Renza.
Oh, okay.
and they immediately just sort of draw their weapons and are like, "Hey, what are you doing out here?"
Tira looks around. Tira says, getting ready to turn in for the night.
The other fetchlings look at the larger one, who growls and kind of says, "It is Khonsu's order. There will be no travel until the war in the material plane is over. Offenders will be taken prisoner or killed."
Oh, is that so?
Immediately just work back out.
The that fetchling appears to be like, the way he's moving, he's like uncomfortable, like he's struggling, like whatever has caused him to transform is not sitting well with his physicality.
Tira wants to try to talk him down because I'm sure he doesn't want to fight me. I don't want to fight him. I'll just tell him this was a big misunderstanding, and I definitely didn't know that Khonsu gave out that order.
All right. What would you like to roll?
Diplomacy.
Why is the D button not working? Sorry.
Give it a go.
Tear with the warp out.
Tira, just walk out
Hey,
forward.
it's a skill check. It's not an automatic fail.
Okay.
Maybe 20 is enough.
One of the other guards kind of mutters something at the large one, and then the regular guard approaches you, and he says, "Listen, the news has been all over the place in Talengard. The only reason that you wouldn't know this is if you've been in the material plane."
Exactly. I was trading with humans. Like
Yeah.
we fetchlings do.
Yeah, well, you've been out for too long. You broke the rules. Look, I don't want to have to kill you, but if you're going to try and struggle, we're going to have to come to blows.
Oh,
Can he just go back home?
warp with Wenza.
Tira says, look. And grabs Renza and teleports back.
Alright, so you guys are kind of like getting ready to settle in for the night. Suddenly, Tyr and Renza show right back up. And then a bunch of...
Conversation. Just like one.
And then, like, 6 fetchlings show up as well. And it looks like they're about to, like, go at Tira. But then they notice the lots and lots of other people who are with Tira.
Near, there is no need to raise your voice.
And everyone is starting to like.
Listen,
Get up and
Karsu
draw
is
their
just
weapons.
glaring because he's like, I was so close. I was so close. I was so close. And then you guys come in and fuck it all up.
Tira
Come on,
takes
Avenir, there's
Tira
no
takes
need.
his gun and he
Takes his gun and what?
covers Renza's eyes.
Okay.
Oh,
This is
no.
gonna get ugly, so he says, Renza,
Well, the guards, seeing themselves as highly outnumbered and even outmuscled because of Grumblejack, and being very scared of Avi, apparently, with that Intimidate check, the one in front goes, "We'll remember this," and they all disappear again.
Mood killers.
and everything was going so well. Tira checks on Renza to see if she's shaking.
She didn't really pick up on the fact that it was, like, threatening at all.
Good.
Okay, that's good.
Did something happen in the Plane of Shadows?
Lealda just kind of looks up and be like, "What? Can't go home anymore?"
Tira still tells Renza to cover it.
Cover her ears. Okay.
She will.
Tira is like, alright, so I remember telling most of you, if not all of you, that the reason I came here was because I KB from the Plane of Shadows, from under the rule of a pretty nasty drake.
Yes.
Turns out that general order he sent means that traveling in and out of the Plane of Shadow is imprisonment or death. I'd rather not get imprisoned because I'd rather not die.
In other words, you're stuck here in the material plane until our mission is over.
Oh no, in other words, Renzis, I'm gonna kill him.
I only heard bits and pieces of.
Renza is going to stay in the material plane. Tira is going to keep going back and forth.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Renza has a bunch of cool aunts to take care of her.
And finally,
I am nervous.
hooray! You make your way to Gaston Hall!
We did.
Huh. A lot more compact than Farhold.
Well, yes and no, because this is a much, much larger city than Farhold. With the population, like, I think Farhold has a population of like 10,000 maybe. This has a population of like 85,000.
And yet the buildings look like as though they're more squeezed in together.
Because they probably are. That usually comes with when you build
But
outward.
it doesn't necessarily mean that they're small.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, this is highly zoomed out. The buildings are quite large. Like, the larger squares, like the one labeled 2, is
Did you switch the maps?
is an enormous
Oh,
cathedral.
it's right here. Okay, got it.
Yeah, the one labeled...
I mean, granted, everything looks very pixels.
Hey, Uni, I forgot. Can I make a plane that guy's condition?
What?
Would it be planes?
Sure, yeah. Or, actually, it would be Arcana.
Oh.
Arcana?
Who has Arcana? Because
Me.
Tira will ask you to check on.
Arcana, okay. I just need to double check something. Where is... 32!
From what Isol can gather from what you've said, it seems like he's either got like a significant amount of dragon blood in him, or that he was what's known as a dragon disciple. Someone who, through either magic or through exploiting draconic heritage, figures out how to physically manifest draconic abilities and immense strength.
Huh.
And the type of dragon that it seems he was disciple to is Khonsu's type of dragon.
So,
Umbral dragon, yeah.
Ooh, fun.
You hadn't heard of this being a thing since you left, so you figure that this must be some sort of new development, that maybe Khonsu is starting to experiment on creatures or something.
huh.
Well, good for him. Maybe we'll
No.
find something.
No, it's not good.
It's terrible.
It's...
Also,
We're
I
terrible.
put in the Discord chat what my map looks like. Is this because I'm too zoomed out?
it might just need some time to load. You could try.
Yeah, because it's clear for me. I can see.
Yeah,
it just
it is.
fine.
It is clear. It's very clear.
Okay.
You might need to refresh if anything.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, everything else is loaded in just fine.
Weird.
Yeah, like, the actual, like, map of Town Guard looks perfectly fine.
Hmm. Yeah, it might just have to do with your
I'll
connection or
refresh and
something.
See if it fixes it.
So, as it says, get thee to Castenhall with all haste. Therein seek Barnabas Thrain, master of the Stygian knot. He waits you in the library of Gaster. That was Cardinal Thorn's order. You can also gather rumors because it's a city, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, let's see what rumors are floating around right now.
You could tell immediately that this is a much more cosmopolitan city than most of the ones in Talongard. Like, it's not all Mitra around here. It's like an actual city that's not all
What
obsessed
rumors
with.
do I gather?
What do we do for rumors again?
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
I think.
Diplomacy. Yeah, I
And
recently
yeah.
just bunked my Diplo to
Mhm.
put into other more important things since we have people that do it better. But I did pretty okay.
Yep.
Yes,
And
You did better than Isol.
and Karasu, or anyone with knowledge local can also just like roll. Like if they're like, hey, do you want to know something? Just roll knowledge local to see if your character knows a thing or knows.
Well, my Diplo is actually better than my knowledge local.
Okay. Well, those of you who got over, let's say 20, give me a number between 1 and 20.
1.
1.
15.
Okay, number 1 is, where are the king and his armies? Why does he do nothing? Has the house of Darius abandoned us?
Yes.
And 15 is, Varden Jamberlain, the owner of Jamberlain's Apothecary, is a fine old army man. They say he gives a 10% discount to any fellow veterans who swap war stories with him.
Oh! Tira can do that.
So if you need to buy some potions or something.
Tira loves potions. Like Wells of Silence.
And we can get enough to, buff up our weapon and get them better.
Yeah. Isol, what number did you want?
20.
20. Have you ever traveled to Valterna? I took the pilgrimage once and was even lucky enough to see the Phoenix up close.
Great. First a dragon, now a phoenix.
Where was the Phoenix last seen?
Valterra.
In Valterna, with the Vale of Valterna, which is where you guys are supposed to go
Oh.
Boy.
eventually.
Isol's having to hear this, and she's thinking in the back of her mind, if we actually have to face this, we might actually be screwed because none of us can actually use ice.
It doesn't matter. We'll
Yeah.
shoot it.
We just have to shoot enough holes into it. Or stab it enough times. It has kidneys, I'm pretty sure.
I
If
would
it
hope
has
so.
kidneys, Karasu can handle it.
Is it possible to make a kimono out of phoenix feathers?
Yes,
Yes.
sure, yeah. That would be pretty rad.
That is gonna be what Isol will ask out of Karasu if they ever come against the phoenix.
Listen, you just gave Karasu the biggest Desu ice. Isol, that suggestion by itself, you're on his good list now.
The biggest Desu boner.
Like, it took a year and some change, but you're finally on Karasu's radar.
And all you did was offer him
Yeah.
flesh.
You've already got that dragon skin kimono that you can never show to anyone.
Totally can.
Yeah.
not
But
not
it's
anywhere in
still
Talongard.
dragon.
Maybe in
It's fine.
Shelly.
When he goes
in
back-
Cheliax it'd be
Where
great.
are my house?
So yeah, the number 7 is the Library of Gaster, which is where you guys are supposed to meet with this guy.
Well, I guess we should go? Question mark.
Yeah, you spent a few hours collecting rumors. So, yeah, if that's where you want to go, then
I mean, it's
By all
gonna
means.
have to go no matter what eventually.
So yeah, let's meet up with this big old fat cat dude.
alrighty. The Library of Gaster is a wondrously large open library that charges only 5 silver a day for access to its stacks.
Easy.
Yep.
Inside is the single greatest collection of books, tomes, and scrolls in all of Talengard.
Karasu slightly froths at the mouth.
There.
And if you wanted to do a knowledge check in here, you'd get a +4 bonus on it, because of all the info, all the books that you.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, that's
Lealdo
right.
would
Abby doesn't
actually-
like libraries.
It
Lealdo would actually have a positive score on
It
every knowledge
reeks.
check that isn't religion.
reeks of
Reeks
dead
of
trees.
You know what Tira loves? Knowledge.
I was about to say,
Does he look like a kid in a candy store right now?
Yes.
Well, maybe Abby should sign up to audible.com
Man,
to save a tree.
Wait, what?
the fuck did I just hear?
What?
you want to know what Tira loves?
More than knowledge? Yes.
Men.
Men. Okay.
He fucks a new man every day.
I don't think he does
Oh my
that.
God, I thought I heard that right. Oh, V, high five, man.
Just making sure I heard that right. Yeah.
References to Vanoss.
Oh, okay. So, you may want to review the letter.
Right.
Oh, but that means I have to read.
Yep.
Let's see.
Okie doke.
To my
To my ninth. Since that day you arrived, filthy and famished upon my doorstep, I have always seen in you great potential, and today you prove me correct once more. You have the demon's gift. I could not be more pleased.
The devil's own luck.
Yeah. You have in your possession a terrible weapon, and now we must see it used. Get thee to Gastonhall with all haste. Therein seek Barnatus Thrain,
Barnabas
master of
Thrain.
whatever.
No relation to Barnabas Harrigan.
He awaits you in the library of Gaster. Ask him whom he serves. He will answer only knowledge. Yes, he is a priest of Mitra, but fear not, he has seen the power of our cause and into Thrain's hand deliver the gift. He has agents who will see that the tears are delivered to where it may do the most good. He will have something for you as well, a token of my... Let's go talk to him. He has gifts. He has
Yeah.
goodies.
Remember the key phrase. Remember the key phrase.
Yeah, so we're just gonna walk up to the librarian here. We're gonna ask him who he serves.
All right.
A
Basically,
Pacific librarian.
you find a scholarly-looking Mitran priest who looks like this.
Hang on, I need to zoom out.
You zoom out.
He's right above the.
Does he also look absolutely?
Yes.
Oh God!
To
Where
answer
is
the
he?
question, Ray, yes.
Where is he?
Up above the map.
I gotta refresh again. Hold on.
Oh God! I'm like trying to figure out. Did he like?
He didn't fall off the ugly
He didn't
tree
follow
yet,
the
but I think
guidelines, the proper facial guidelines, but it's. I can't tell if he did it on purpose or. Oh. Hmm.
Yeah, like I think he's supposed to be like furrowing a brow, like a single
Or
brow.
maybe cross-eyed or something.
But it makes it look like his eyes are like in completely different places in his head.
Yeah, and it almost makes him look like he has a birth defect. Also, considering he has a cone head. Did you notice that?
I noticed.
He's sensitive about it. That's why he has the hood on.
Yo, Conehead, who do you serve?
He looks at you.
Hasn't updated yet.
Tara looks at Kaiden and says, "Can you really look?"
Can't fucking hear you, dear.
He looks at you and he says, "Only knowledge. If you're interested in seeking knowledge, perhaps you should join me for a symposium tomorrow evening in the basement lecture hall."
What time?
Tomorrow evening.
What time?
Fucking
I
5
didn't.
Say fucking.
5 p.m. He
Great,
leaves.
see that. See,
5
was that
p.m.
so hard?
sharp
Say
or
fucking. Because Abby just raises an eyebrow at that, like, are you serious? Patrons are so uptight. What is this?
Yeah, this guy definitely does not have the typical bearing of a Mitran priest.
Listen, some people, even evil villains, want to be on time, so they gotta have
know
a time
exactly how much
to be
time
on
I-
time.
Mm-hmm. Now, Karsu, you are of course aware that the Red Quarter is where the action is at.
Is that where the
Yes.
hookers are?
Yes. There's
Here we go.
There's also White Quarter, which is all the rich people and all the universities and stuff. Weatherby, which is like Farmer Town. Scarpers, which is where all the river fishermen are. Priest Quarter, which is actually where a lot of the that's where a lot of the universities are. White Quarter is where the rich people live. Lord's Quarter, which is where even richer people live. White Quarter's actually also got a lot of like big time merchants. Salt's Quarter, which is where the saltwater fishermen live, and Salt's Quarter and Scarpers have a rivalry because one's the freshwater fishers and one's the saltwater fishers. Downerly is full of warehouses pretty much for Salt's Quarter. Gold Quarter has got all the bankers and all of the people the Karasu probably helped Karasu out on the sly, including a road called Greedily Road, which is where most of the banks are. King's Peace, which is very boring. It's actually like that's all that there is about it. It's just like the most boring part of town.
That's where all the uptight actual Metrons hang out, isn't it?
Yeah. Barley Bell and Turnsborough, which is where the which are just basically farm towns on the outskirts of the city. Wrightsbridge, which is I can't remember. I'm really trying here. I can't remember what Wrightsbridge is about. It's probably nothing important. Tubalo, which is a very pleasant part of town to live in. It's like the middle class sort of place. Wrong Side, which is the very low class sort of place. It's all like dugout farmland and mud. And that's it. That's my recollection of all of the different quarters.
Now, you said something about the action being in Red Quarter?
Yes, the Red Quarter is where all of the illegal activities, drugs, alcohol, and
It's
lots
the
of
red light
prostitution
district.
happens.
Gotcha.
It's
Red-
yep.
That's where I'm gonna live.
It's where most of the sailors most of the traders and the sailors like to go as well.
Ah.
Which is why
So, Sariel, Pamphir, definitely.
where
Because gambling and the
Because
brothel.
gambling and prostitution.
Yeah.
Yes.
because you'll notice that like you could go to like most people who are in Talengard to trade things by boat would go to Matherin because it's a coast town, it's the capital. But actually, most of them go to Gastonhall because
Wow.
because Matherin is full of
Uptight fuck.
uptight Mitra priests and stuff like that.
Oh boy.
And that's the only thing it has going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the war stories guy, Tiro?
Huh?
The what?
War stories.
Tira wants to find the war story guy, yeah.
Oh, probably White Quarter, I guess. Didn't actually say where he was.
The White Quarter.
Yeah, you can chat that guy up, make a bluff check, or just talk some real war stuff with him.
I can do that. What I can't do is bluff. Why would Tira lie about actually being in war when he was in war?
That's true. You used to share some of your scary and amazing experiences with him, and he shares some with you. And you're actually quite impressed by some of the stuff that he's done. This old salt.
Oh, cool. I want to recruit this guy.
Something about, like, fighting two Krakens at once and things like that. And,
You lie.
and he does offer you a 10% discount on all of his potions.
Does that apply to all my friends?
I mean, Karasu can go and probably exchange a story or two with this guy too.
Yeah, but that would be a waste of energy.
True.
Wasting energy is wasting time.
And there goes V.
But I know how he was gonna end it. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the way? How do you end anything in regards to Karasu? Money.
Well, bring your friends by, and we'll see what we can work out, eh? And he gives you one of those sailor's winks.
Yay!
Is he coming out to Tira?
Tira
No.
feels slightly...
Oh, old men wink all the time.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
Slightly uncomfortable, like this man.
Whether they know it or not, everyone wants Tira. Okay. This time he has so many daughters in the future. Actually, true. I mean,
From a brief visit to the Red Quarter, it doesn't take long before you hear word of Mr. What's his name? Gotta find it.
would it be?
Give me a
Mr. Vex.
Oh,
Mr. Vex, who runs the most prestigious and sublime and sinful of Farhold's pleasure palaces, called, in fact, the Golden Palace. Apparently, there's a hubbub about some new events at his pit fighting ring.
Pit fighting ring, you
Perfect.
say?
Hey, AV, listen. I'm gonna go check out the Red Quarter. Do you want to come with?
the moment the word pit was sounded, I
Pretty
was
sure
worried that Karasu was gonna
There's a
have more
slight
flashbacks.
possibility I might get into a fight.
Oh. Who is Kaiden asking?
Abby.
Avi. Okay.
Wait, what? What were you asking?
If you would go with Kaiden to the Red Quarter, because it's likely that Kaiden might get into a fight.
Yeah,
Why do you want to? Okay, fine, she'll go.
because Avi has healing abilities.
She does not.
And I
No.
see.
Yeah,
Doesn't-
this is
really
the
does.
You're a
library.
druid.
I don't have a lot. I have.
You don't prepare any cures for them. Okay,
I
never
prepare
mind.
to kill.
I leave Avi behind.
Turn into bird.
So Karasu
Well,
goes over. He goes over to Kaiden, and he's like, "Tell me what the scene is like."
What do you mean?
When he goes to the pit fighting, he wants to know when he comes back what the scene is like.
Oh, sure.
Karsu's got old people to catch up with, lots of connections to see if he can reestablish.
Yeah, I still might be in the library, but she can spare the potions that she has.
No, that's alright. I think Kaiden has like 6 of them on hand. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, you
Tell me
did-
what the fight scene is like. And
Yeah, Kaiden goes into the Golden Palace with whoever wants to
Alright.
come with. And what do I say?
At the Golden Palace, you are greeted by a lot of just lovely-looking people who are immediately like, "Hey, 5 gold pieces for a night," and that sort of stuff. You want some drinks? You want some drinks with? Do you
emphasis.
like what's your poison? We got everything. If it's not here, it's not in Talongard.
Do you
Oh,
want
damn.
chicks, dicks, chicks with dicks? We got it all.
I'm looking for some exercise. What's your fighting pit?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mr. Vex currently has. He's imported quite a few dangerous beasts that he'll be showcasing over the next few weeks. If you'd
Does he have
like,
many volunteers to oppose these beasts?
not anymore. If you'd like to come in, or if you'd like to show up for the next event, that's in 2 days.
Fine. But for the record, I would like my identity to be kept secret.
Sure. What do you want your stage name to be?
The human spider.
Mr. Unimportant.
You got it, Mr. Unimportant.
Oh, wow.
Maybe people will start calling you Uni for short, and everyone thinks you like unicorns.
I'm sorry, Uni. I'm sorry.
If it gets to that point, I may have to make a name change.
All right. In the meantime, hey, come on. I see you got some money, and we've got some time for you.
Show me what you got.
They've got
I've got all night.
they've got
They
whatever.
Dicks. Got dicks. They've got
Chicks with dicks.
We got chicks, we got dicks, we got chicks with dicks.
You got all the exotic products that you could ask for. Some things that you've never even seen, and you don't know how they work.
Ask them, actually, if they can get a hold of a certain poison that I heard about. I have to look it up again, hold on. Called Death something.
just say one of everything, Kaiden.
Yeah, actually,
Oh, dear.
what are your, like, deadliest poisons that you guys keep on hand? Not, like, drinks-wise, but I'm talking real shit.
I see.
Oh, boy. This is where I'm glad Isol's having to stay at the library to look up...
Yeah, I
Phoenixes.
figured ISIL wouldn't want to be a part of this.
Well,
Kaiden,
this
can't you hear how disappointed they are?
This
They
is
want you
Kaiden-
to try the whole.
This is Kaiden working the black market.
this is not really the business for it, but you know what? Ask around. There's going to be someone here who can set you up. So just roll diplomacy to talk around.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, that's
Hey,
good.
question, Uni.
Yep.
What's my diplomacy? Nothing. Great.
Because Lealda can't poison herself,
Mm-hmm.
16.
does that mean she could take a poison and take a slug of it and be fine?
No, it just means that
No.
if you roll a nat 1 while applying poison to a weapon, you don't accidentally poison yourself.
It doesn't mean
Damn.
you're immune to poison.
I mean, unless an anti-paladin ability allows you to be immune to poison, like specifically.
I don't know. I was just talking about like the poison use trait.
All right. So asking around and flashing a bit of gold.
Leg.
Little leg, little arm, little chest, a little of everything, you know?
Arm.
No one.
Listen,
no one
I'm pretty sure Kaiden has biceps for days. It's
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah, fair
it's
enough.
like biceps. Come on now.
Yeah, we'll talk about Kaiden.
They said they
Hella ripped.
Yeah.
there's
Shredded.
there's a pale gentleman who will who can set you up for sometime tomorrow. He gives you an address and he says that address is good for like a week tops. So if you want to stop by fairly quickly. We move around a lot.
Karasu wonders if that's one of his old associates.
I'll see you soon then.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Karasu, you want to try and do what?
He wants to try and see if any of his old contacts are still up and running, or if they came down when he came down too.
Okay. Knowledge local.
Oh, great. What isn't great for me? Let me verify what it is. Once upon a time, his knowledge local would have been better, but it's not. Oh, yeah. Nope, he can't find anything.
You
He
find
gives up.
you you start talking to people and you like run into a guy who did work for you, but when you said, "Hey, I'm Karasu," there he was like, "Yeah, right. You're Karasu." Everybody was Karasu. Karasu's fucking dead, and you can't seem to convince him otherwise.
No, Carson
damn.
doesn't even try. Carson doesn't even try. He just kind of he kind of like gets disappointed. And he's like, guess I'll find Abby and Tira again.
See, that's what happens when your smuggling ring is so
So
that you
tight
can't even convince people that
that you're you anymore.
Cut yourself off. So
Let's face it. Karsu probably like Karsu to them was just like a code name, a myth of a person. Nobody actually knew who the boss was.
Mayor, I'll say that to take 20 at the library is going to take you a couple of days of research.
Oh, days. I thought it was going to be hours, considering never.
No, it's like utilizing the library for basically several hours is what gives you the bonus.
Okay. So, is it like lanes to figure out phoenixes, or? Yes, I'm invested in this.
To find out about, I think phoenixes are magical beasts, so it might be Arcana.
It might be Arcana. Okay. I was having to think about asking.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I think I don't see why they wouldn't be magical beasts. I don't think they're extra planar.
Okay, so.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, what does 24 actually give me, though?
24 gives you not really anything.
It's a high DC. Well, it's a good thing that I have the Battlefire set so high.
It's probably like a 25.
Probably. Maybe even a 30. I can always try again tomorrow.
Yeah. So, the day can pass if no one else has anything they want to do.
I don't think I have anything of major importance. I know Uni said he had plans for me, but I'm nervous about that.
just relax.
Where are we staying exactly?
The streets.
You don't have a place right now.
Oh,
But
okay.
there are-
I know exactly what I want to do to get a new place. I'm gonna go down to Two Below.
We're
Sure.
staying on the streets.
The you mean the middle class town?
Yeah, and no, I'm not gonna stay in the streets.
You don't have enough money to be in the middle class.
Preferable. I'd like to pick a house that's kind of on the street across from the wrong side over here. But still
Sure,
kind of
there's
close to Red Quarter, so maybe over here.
there's a few inns in that general area.
Okay.
Okay.
But going to Avi, you hear like if Avi's asking around like, hey, I heard about this thing called Rugagug. What is it? You learn about it pretty quickly. It's a popular sport around here among the universities.
Oh.
It's basically an all-out fight to get a ball through a goal. Very violent, lots of running and tackling and shin biting. Is how
Football.
Karasu describes it.
So, is that whole night blah 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 blah? Words. What are words? I'm trying to figure out. Okay, the scholar that was giving us the invite to his night teachings. Is that tonight or is that within a week?
That was tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow evening. Okay.
Yep. So
Gotcha.
basically, once the sleeping period is over, then that's the day.
Okay.
So yeah, you
I thought to double check.
yep, you sleep and you know things go well. You know, it's just it's a pretty
Oh, sorry.
oh,
I didn't want to find an inn there. I actually wanted to find someone's house.
Oh. Isa would have been perfectly okay with an inn, but
Many
I mean,
of-
if you guys want to say
No,
it, that's fine.
no.
But
I have
I
a
was trying to
feeling
say-
he's got ulterior motives here.
Yes.
oh boy.
you find many houses. What do you want to do with them?
I want to pick the biggest, nicest looking house on the block.
Kaiden, are you gonna go throw your mask at a person?
Kaiden,
Maybe.
please.
Okay.
Kaiden! We don't want to spread infamy so soon.
No.
He got away with it
We're-
last
But we
time.
also,
That's why he chose from right across from wrong side.
yeah. But I also don't. I also want to keep a low profile. I don't want to have like a record of staying in anywhere.
Oh.
I'm literally just gonna take some. I'm just gonna like put Kaiden into like someone else's life.
God.
And we're just
I'm
gonna
your
keep
long
them.
lost cousin. You
Yeah.
know, your sister's mother's brother.
Yeah, and if things go bad, then we'll just keep them like locked up in the basement or something.
Your sister's
Twice
mother is
removed.
also your mother.
And you know, I know that's the point. None
Oh,
of you
okay,
watched Conan the
Oh, boy.
Barbarian, the second one.
Unplugged it.
No, no, you got me there.
Stop moving.
I don't know what Conan is. I thought he was a comedian.
No.
No.
But yeah, okay. You find a nice house, and it's populated by let's see here. Okay, it's a guy and
Just one guy.
his one son.
Oh.
Guy and
Oh,
son.
this makes it easy.
huh?
I go for the sun.
Oh shit! Didn't realize how high mom had the fucking volume on the goddamn.
I'm just gonna keep a grab on the sun, and then I'm gonna find him.
I'm
I'm gonna ask the son, take him to his dad. We're gonna go see him together, and I'm gonna tell him that if he wants things to go smoothly, he'll do what I say and get in the basement.
Roll intimidate.
Intimidate. Eh, 17.
He agrees, and he goes in the basement.
I am back. Sorry, I had to go and turn off the volume on the TV in the living room because it seemed a little loud to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was a little loud to me, I don't want to leave the chance for it to be picked up on the microphone.
All right, so Kaiden has
I'm gonna tell them to keep quiet for now, and then I'm going to lock them in and invite the group over.
Oh boy.
We have just like that. We have a new place to stay.
But what about the people that are imprisoned in the basement?
Alright.
Don't worry about
Tira
that.
doesn't agree. He'll just stay somewhere else. He doesn't feel comfortable. Since you basically held someone's kid hostage.
at fist
Yeah,
point.
basically. Fist point.
Fist point.
Kaiden just holds his fingers at the kid's throat.
Don't make me use these!
I'll jab him so hard, I swear. Yeah, and I didn't even have to harm him.
All right. Well, the night goes by fairly smoothly, and the next day.
Goody! Here we go.
That's right. You know, we can actually frame it so that we're their long lost family. I mean, we're the mob, right? We gotta be that Italian mob.
Oh god.
God.
Yeah.
Doing this. Oh,
Listen, acting like an Italian mob in this kind of city is actually probably the best way to go.
You
It's true.
We just walk up to people on the street and say pasta. Easy.
Yep.
We're relatives visiting for the wedding.
oh boy.
Mayor, do your best, Godfather.
Wait, you're asking me?
Yes, Isol is the godfather.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, where's that?
Why
kid
is
again?
Isol the godfather?
Why
Uh-huh.
not?
She's technically the oldest.
How
Only
old is Isol?
Like 144.
listen, Car's just here to hit people.
Yeah, Karsu is the weird cousin with the slicked back greasy hair and the slightly open, shirt holding that spiked bat menacingly.
So does Lealda not get a chance of being the godfather because she's the one getting married?
Yes.
Pretty much.
No.
Only Isol.
Because
You're
Isol
one of
and
the
Lealda
daughters.
are the two oldest.
Only
you're one of the-
Isol.
Isol is the one that has to say, and what is it that you want from me on this, the day of my daughter's wedding?
Yes, I actually have to say the quote. I was actually having to go through the Discord to actually find the darn quote again.
Oh my god.
You should know it by heart.
I don't because I am a heathen and I've never watched the Godfather movies.
Neither have I.
I watched most of Godfather 2 or 3, I think. I think it was 2. Anyway.
I haven't watched them either, but that's because I'm a baby and also
Yeah.
don't watch movies.
I mean, I haven't watched them either, mostly because I have no interest in it, but I know enough about it to do that impression.
You know what? Let's go in order. Tira, what do you want to do today?
What is there to do besides gather more rumors? I don't care.
You have many options ahead of you. Of course, you have a whole month to spend here in Gaston Hall before you are sent to your next duty by Cardinal Thorn.
Oh, I want to play that game.
Rugagug?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, there is a field out in the outskirts of the city, probably in Barleybell, where Rugagug is amateurly played fairly regularly, and you get your game on with some friendly farmhands.
How many of his limbs does he break?
Roll a d8.
All of them.
This is why we get an 8.
You will break 5 of your limbs.
He doesn't even have 5 limbs. Oh, no.
Does Tira want to stop by the library so Isol can heal him?
No.
Oh no, it just occurred to me.
This part of the game.
Maybe the 5th limb is something. Oh,
Oh no!
unpleasant.
Don't.
So Tiro runs up with his anime high school girlfriend waving, and he's like, "Hey guys, can I play too?"
And you just get steamrolled by like 20 heavily muscled, like football player sized people.
Oh gosh.
Many of them black, which is weird because this is not a.
Oh, unity!
It's not the dominant race at all in Talongard.
What's happening?
Uni.
Like what? Like I don't know. I don't. For whatever reason, the Boston Bruins showed up.
Great.
Oh wait, no, that's a hockey team. Shit. What's a really aggressive football team?
What?
The Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Fine. Yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles. Sure. They just happened to be in Barley Bell at the time, and you got destroyed by them. But it was fun.
Back on crutches. It's like, that was fun.
moving along, I guess.
Alright, time
Leota.
for rumors.
Uh,
2.
what?
Oh, sure.
Oh.
Rumors.
Yeah, we'll
Right.
move on to.
Football player.
All right, you learned from the football players. The Duke of Gastenhall offers a bounty for anyone who can claim the head of the Medusa that lives in the mountains. 1,000 gold, I heard. Of course, you'll
I
see.
can do that.
I can, no, Medusa's all got Snake Man all written all over it. That 1,000 gold's mine. Where is it?
Oh god.
Of course, you'll not see me seeking it. What good is gold when you're a statue?
I'm gonna erase Tira there.
Do not.
Alright, it's gonna be a competition.
Do not.
No! ISO is not okay
Kill
with
the
competition.
Medusa
We need to work
first.
this as a team. Medusas are bitches.
Somewhere.
Lealda
Crow
wants
is
nothing to
sneezing.
do with snake women.
Thank you, Abby.
Lealda wants absolutely nothing to do with any possible combination of woman and snake.
It's the wrong, afraid of a little competition.
Lehelda, what would you like to do with your day?
Lealda, you said there's all kinds of knowledge to be found in the library?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you pay the five silver, you can get a bonus on any knowledge check at all.
And ISO can
Easy to
easily
do.
help. Yeah.
Lealda wants to look into flesh warping.
Oh, hello.
Ooh. All
You
right.
should just call your mom.
She's no, she's curious because a drow becomes a drider, but doesn't like a surface elf become something completely different?
Yep.
They become a tree
Horrible
that's
tree.
constantly in pain.
Yeah, they become a gross, like, flesh tree.
That's
So she
constantly
wants-
in pain.
So she's kind of curious, like if she ever got flesh warped, if she like never left. She wants to know what the fuck would have happened to her.
Her mom
Super
is
science.
absolutely sure she would.
Maybe she would have become a gross flesh tree with spider legs.
Oh god, no.
Ew.
And
Gross.
she's just kind of curious about like more exotic races and what they become
Okay.
when they get flesh warped.
All right. Knowledge. I have no idea. Nature or Arcana, whichever one you prefer.
I mean, they're both
I
a
feel like
negative
that might be-
one,
I feel
But
like
you
that
get
might
a-
be more of an arcana thing.
You get a plus
Yeah.
4 to the check.
so it's a 3. Lealda's fucking stupid, guys.
She should leave it to somebody that.
She got a
20.
Okay, but she did.
Her curiosity was so sincere.
In a dank ass corner of the library, you find some forbidden knowledge regarding flesh warping. Apparently, flesh warping is also a thing on the surface in one nation. I can't remember the name of it, but there is a nation that does flesh warping as well.
Maybe Cheliax.
No, it's not Cheliax. It's a different one.
But
Maybe
also
it's-
probably evil alive.
Maybe it's Galt. I can't remember. Anyway,
You mean the French Revolution?
Anyway.
it would be a dangerous prospect to flesh warp yourself. Like, even best case scenario, Driders tend to lose a lot of their memory of their previous life, though they retain their intelligence and their languages and stuff.
What intelligence?
But you think if it were properly prepared, you would be able to essentially choose one or the other. Or even, if you're really good, some sort of combination.
constantly
Okay.
in pain, flesh tree,
Spider.
spider legs.
Lovely.
Aww,
So
that is
polite.
beautiful. That's so cute.
Yeah, that's before. That's the
Yeah.
before. It's not the after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lealda was pretty sure if she hadn't left, that would have been her fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Well, flesh warping is usually reserved for severe crime, like crimes that even the death penalty is not good enough for. In
but
Zernicanen.
also her mother saw her as a genetic achievement.
Her mother also was told by a demon that she'd cause great suffering to the surface, so...
Her
Yeah.
mother was also
Absolutely what?
Drider.
What was that? B?
Her mom was absolutely sure she would just be a Drider.
Hmm.
So she was clearly confident in her skill.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so...
Anyway,
Karasu, what would you like to do?
who are you asking?
Karasu.
Let's gather some rumors, too. Like, what's our... For this month that we have, what are we doing? What are we supposed to be doing?
Nothing.
Relaxing.
Nothing.
Nope.
Just
Spring break.
relaxing? Yeah. Karasu will go ahead, ask rumors, maybe ask around again to see, if he could find any information on people that he failed at the day before. So. But for now, let's just do rumors because that'll give us information. What do I roll for rumors again?
Diplomacy.
Can I roll bluff? I'm better at bluffing.
Oh.
No,
How do you bluff
you're trying to
while telling
learn
the truth?
information. I
And I
mean,
can't do that by lying out my ass?
No.
Fine.
because you're chatting people up and you're getting them to like you.
Well, Car very good at that with a 24, so...
All right. What's your number?
16.
Number 16 is, it is said that Duke Hadrian is mad. I hear rumor that he roams Castle Gaston, wearing nothing but his crown.
Oh.
Okay, well, it's nobody's business what he does in the privacy of his own castle, but, okay.
In his own goddamn home.
I mean, we're the ones who have silver dragon kimonos, so we can't really judge.
He walks around naked.
Who cares?
Kaiden.
Zira cares.
So,
Kaiden, what would you like to do?
I would like to follow up on that lead about the poison.
Okay. You go to an awful little shack in Wrongside.
Okay.
That has a little basement. You knock 3 times, they open up, and they allow you downstairs, where they have a very dark and somewhat cramped room, shelf to shelf, full of toxic, noxious materials. And
Seems like I'm to the right place.
and a gentleman greets you.
What does he look like?
He's a Duergar,
Duergar.
a dark,
He is.
a
Round
dark,
equivalent of a dwarf.
yes, a dark dwarf.
He's black.
He is the as the drow are to the elves. He's the basically that.
I heard
He's
you
black.
refer to the
Dwarf
man
version of
like
that.
Kaiden will speak up to the man and tell him, I hear you're the man I could talk to about getting some death blade.
That I am. How many doses do you need? Let's make this quick.
Well, now.
Oh, what do you mean? How?
Oh, I'm still kind of I bought.
Oh dear.
How much for a single dose?
Deathblade, eh? Let's just look that up quickly. Why is there no price? Hang on.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's just I'm trying to look up possible face cleanings or at least icon material for the 10-year skip, and oh my
That's
gosh.
still ways off. You don't...
I know, but I'd rather be prepared and not have to worry about it, and not end up having to rush it when the time actually comes.
We haven't even gotten through this month.
To even know the name of Deathblade is enough for me to know that you understand what you are looking for. You know that this is what you use to kill legends. This is what is done. This is what is used if you need a drop of something to slay an elephant. It is the highest quality poison that you are likely to find here in Talengard. And I will ask for no less than 2,000 gold pieces for a dose.
2,000 for a dose. That's actually okay, because I think I still have
But you're not with him at the moment.
true. Sadly.
What Kaiden can do is say,
What I can do is trade you an item of equal or greater worth. Isn't that right?
That is always an option.
I'm interested.
Unless I checked.
oh, not.
And didn't want to part with this.
Oh?
So that means I'll be back to buy it off you. But for now, since I don't have enough gold to buy the greatest poison known to man, I'll give you this ring of mind shielding.
He inspects it.
Normally on the market it's worth about 8,000. For you, 4,000 for 2 doses of Deathblade.
Grumble, grumble. Seems legitimate. You can tell he cast a spell to look at it. And he nods, and he takes a deliberately nondescript little baggie and places 2 tiny vials inside and hands them to you. And he pockets the ring.
It's been nice doing business with you.
All right, out now.
I never learned your name.
Call me what you want.
Alright. Nice doing business with you. What you want?
Wow!
If you need a name, call it.
Sally Mae. I'm sorry. Go on.
We were joking.
Call me Bloodstone.
Until we meet again, Bloodstone.
So we'll say.
Meanwhile,
The eye has a heart over
No,
it.
he said call me Bloodstone, not Kelly Bloodstone.
I mean,
we heard Kelly!
to be fair, Kelly actually is one of those neutral names, so it could fly.
I guess.
It was a male name before it was a female name.
Not
Alright.
the Kelly that I put down.
Yeah, not the Kelly that you put down.
Isel, would you like to do anything today?
We're gonna try again on figuring out info on Phoenix.
All right.
And yes, she's at the library. She does get a boost.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it the same roll? This is bullshit.
You,
Pick up the same book.
yeah, basically you collect a pile of books, and then you realize that you collected the exact same pile of books as last time.
She is annoyed. How did this happen? She is almost convinced that somebody swapped books on purpose just to mess with her. As if somebody knew she was trying to look up things about the Phoenix.
Avi, would you like to? Avi would like to do something.
I mean, there is another
hard
thing I was thinking of having to look up, and it's having to look up how the churches are doing in the in Valtura and wherever they're having to go.
Oh, in
next.
Valterna?
Yeah.
How the churches are doing?
Yeah, because I thought it's there that there was something important there, and if she can figure out what's the status there, she has something to plan out and with the group as they're going there.
All right, you can research Valterna. Knowledge geography or knowledge religion?
Oh, this is why I'm glad I'm a cleric, because we have knowledge religion up the wazoo. What the fuck?
You learned
I did
some.
not roll above a 10 tonight.
You can't roll above a 5 tonight. That's...
You learned some basic info about the Vale of Valterna. You know that it's a place of great, it's a very, very important holy site for the Mitran faith. It's located in basically a very scenic valley, heavily guarded. There's like a great big There's basically like a great big wall blocking the only entrance into the valley. And you know that it's full of amazing wonders and often fantastical, good-aligned creatures will visit.
Yep, like the Phoenix.
Or another silver dragon.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Another kimono.
Speaking of which, Dusky and Tira don't need to roll anything to know this. The Vale of Valterna, that particular part of the material plane is more closely related to other planes than it is to the plane of shadows. So the Vale in the plane of shadows is actually just kind of a valley with an enormous hole, like an enormous, like, almost crater, like pit, because it's not really touched by the plane of shadow.
Cool.
And in the middle of that pit, in a dugout cavern, is Khonsu's lair.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh!
Oh!
Well!
Which leads you to the thought that maybe it would not be a good idea to bring Renza with you on this mission.
It would not.
Ah.
Dear.
Yeah. Let's have Bianca babysit Renza. I'll have Toasted babysit the hostages.
You are aware, like I mentioned before, the Gaston Hall in the Plane of Shadows is less connected to Khonsu than most of Talongard. And
It's the only place not directly under.
yeah, not directly under is like you'll frequently see guards and patrols going through here to make sure that everyone's behaving, but it's not like tyrannical rule type thing, and you would likely be able to find several safe havens that you'd be able to keep her.
Alright, so he goes around asking, hey, who?
Sorry, what?
Tira goes around asking, hey, who?
Oh my god!
Every time.
Discord!
Discord keeps cutting you off at the exact same point.
Seriously?
Yes.
Yes!
Every time you repeat the sentence.
This is why. Fuck it.
But I assume that you're looking around for good safe havens
Yes.
in the shadow Gaston Hall.
Yes.
Okay, you can make a knowledge local check, or knowledge the planes, because your local is in a different plane, so it's your choice, I guess.
Alright. Maybe I can find a beat down family that's like, yeah, we'll watch her.
Thankfully, it's not a very difficult check. You know the right people. You know a lot about Shadow Gaston Hall because a lot of your operations back in the day involved Shadow Gaston Hall, because it's a really good spot in the Plane of Shadows for formulating plans to foil Khonsu's attempts to continue to
Be a tyrant.
be a tyrant. And you find in roughly the Salt's Quarter district in Shadow Talonguard a 3-story home, ramshackle because everything is,
Yeah.
but
Are there children Renz's age?
fairly well put together, and an older fetchling lady opens the door, and she says, "Oh, who might you be?" And you also learned the appropriate passphrase to let her know, "Hey, I'm here to look for safe haven," which is a quick exchange of something like, "Would you like to buy shoes? No, I have 3 already. Oh, I can get you a 5th," or something nonsensical, but nobody would kind of notice if you were making this exchange if they were just passing by. And
Awesome.
yeah, and she says, "Okay, come on in quickly."
Alright, Tira hustles Renz.
Okay, and you close the door, and she and an older gentleman, they appear to be a couple, say, "So, will it be just you staying here, like both of you, or will it be just the young lady?"
Both of us, I guess.
All right, and for about how long?
How long are we gonna be here?
Well, you'll be in Gaston Hall for a month, but you'll be in the Vale for probably 2.
Okay. So 1 month or 2?
Possibly.
Well, if you're keeping Renza here to be safe, then you'll want to basically have her there for like 3 months or so.
At least.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Tira says he can monetarily compensate them if that's too long.
Oh, it's not a matter of being too long. We just need to know. We don't need to know your business. It's probably safer if we don't. We get a lot of people in here who, are looking to hide from Khonsu's agents, and or are doing various other things that would get Khonsu upset at them, and they want to keep their families safe. We do have a few children here, which is nice. They'll be happy to have a new friend. Now, we are connected pretty well when it comes to food and other supplies. We can also... does she know how to read?
Yes.
Yes.
I see. Is there anything else that you may not have had the time to teach her? Mathematics, anything like that?
Karasu has taught her mathematics.
Yes.
You know what? She's still young. Tira asked them to keep her studied up on whatever they can because he wants her to be smart.
Oh.
She's only 6.
Isn't it lovely that your parent is keeping you so well informed in the world? And she kind of leans at Renza, who retreats behind your leg.
Aww.
Tira pats Renz on the head and says, "It's alright."
She's not used to socializing, is she?
She's used to moving her.
I see.
He taps his face and says, "As you've been moving from place to place for a while now."
She nods. And the lady says, all right, 3 months. I think we can keep her pretty well fed for 3 months. Let's say, do you have 50 gold pieces?
Yes, I do.
All right, we can make do with that.
Tira bows and thanks them profusely.
Thank you very much. Oh, and are you... I don't need to know the exact nature, but I do need to know... are you going to be doing anything dangerous while you're away?
Yes.
Okay. It's just that sometimes parents don't come back. And we've made it a policy to ask for a little bit more, just in case. 100 gold if you can manage that.
I can do that, but I fully intend to come back, just so you know.
I do know. Don't worry. I trust in you. You have good eyes. You wouldn't abandon her. Not unless you absolutely had to.
There's no abandon my daughter.
That's good then. And let's see. And she says, well, all right then. We could keep her here from here on if you would like. Of course, you can visit as much as you want. Considering how she is, I imagine she's not very used to being away from her dad for very long. So if you have the time, try to visit her every day or so. And eventually, when you do have to leave for a long time, she'll be more used to it.
You got it.
All right, and then she's like, oh, and the playroom is downstairs if you'd like to introduce her to all the other kids.
Tira grabs Renz's hand. Friends, I know you've been in the...
Her eyes light up. She's very happy. She's very excited to hang out with kids her age.
Alright, so Tira goes to the playroom.
Goes down there. There's some books, toys. There's a rocking horse. There's some chalk and a chalkboard, things like that. Blocks, of course. You step on a Lego. It's painful.
How much damage will Lego do?
10d6.
You know it's gonna be a 1d10 at the very least.
If you say so.
Legos hurt, man.
Cool, you've never
They
stepped
do
on a
full
D4.
damage. Oh god, yeah.
Wow, max damage. You may have said something inappropriate in front of the children.
You got your ass kicked by a Lego, Tira.
One of the kids says, "I know that word."
I used to don't repeat it.
Oh my gosh!
Tira says, "You didn't hear that," and he looks at Renz and says, "And you don't ask him what it means."
Okay. And you basically hang out in the playroom watching your daughter first sit around kind of nervous, but then eventually get into some activities with some of the kids. And
Oh my god! I'm sorry, Stephen Hawking died.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
You didn't know?
Oh no.
No!
Happy this entire time.
No!
Oh, that's sad.
That
Ah.
he invented the theory of everything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
I mean,
Sorry, Tombstone.
I mean, he kicked the ass of that illness he had because I was supposed to kill him way, way, way long ago.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nothing else of particular excitement happens. You are,
Yeah,
You-
Tira checks his sundial.
yeah, you in the plane of shadow in a basement.
Oh, look at Shadow.
You check your bat watch. Were you there for that conversation?
I was.
Okay. Just a bat strapped to your wrist.
And Tira walks over to Renz. So, Daddy's gotta do some work. I'll come visit you whenever I'm in. Be good, okay, little shade?
She looks like she's about to complain, but she actually stops herself and she smiles and she says, "Okay."
Alright, Tira.
It seems as though she's acclimatizing pretty quickly.
That's good. Tira kisses her on the forehead and says, "Look,
Love you.
And that's that, I guess. After Tira... Oh, I guess Tira was... blah. That was everyone. Excuse me. Oh no, Abby. Abby hasn't done a thing yet, I don't think.
Abby. So, what does Abby want to do?
Starts making friends with the birds, but no questions yet.
Alright. Oh, wow, yeah. There are some seagulls and some pigeons who are all into you. They think you're the coolest.
Aww.
she's the coolest bird on the block."
She is.
And then evening comes around. Your appointed time to meet with this Barnabas Thrain fellow.
Oh boy.
Tira comes out of Kara's through shadow.
We need to go.
His eyes are slightly red and puffy.
Oh.
So many feels this episode.
Karasu gives him a hug because he knows what it's like to be away from family. Sucks.
So, assuming you head straight to the
Assuming that we had
straight to the basement lecture hall. Yeah, Tira stepped on a Lego. It was bad. I mean, the Lego was very painful.
Yeah, the Lego hurt. I think it did as much damage as like a great sword or something.
A D10, yeah, that's like a normal person hitting you with a greatsword. Pretty good.
Listen, Pathfinder Legos, they're really heavy duty.
She's not asking like a Lego of all things, but more of Lego, and she's never heard of them. But
Like,
she's
you know-
almost afraid of asking the question.
Like, you know what D4s are shaped like, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah, because you see them.
Like,
People.
Mare knows what a Lego is.
I-
Isol doesn't
Isol
know what a
doesn't.
Lego is.
No, what I'm saying is, like, D4s are, like, probably worse than Legos because they're literally caltrops.
Yeah,
Oh, those things.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah,
oh,
that's
no.
what they were designed to be.
And people ask, hey, how much damage would a stepping on a D4 do? And the answer is usually
Ow.
one D4.
Ah.
Those clever boots.
Alright. So, making your way to the basement lecture hall. It's a disused little area beneath the library. There are two brutish-looking young men flanking Mr. Thrain. And in the corner there is one sharp-dressed young lady. Boop. Right next to him.
Did she also... God, I'm afraid.
Oops.
No.
Oh, no! Oh, God, thank God, she's beautiful.
No, she's not dressed. She's not made by the artist.
Yeah, yeah. Whew. Woo!
Closing the door behind you. He says to the guards, to guard the entrance, he says, "We are not to be disturbed. The symposium is invitation only." And they nod and they depart. And then he says, "I am the fifth, and you are?"
the ninth.
He nods. Good. Welcome to Gaston Hall. I am Brother Barnabas Thrain, and you are expected. Word has already reached me of your great triumphs. I presume you have something for me.
That we do. And I so very, very super carefully brings out the bottle of the tears that, tears are being held in.
That really nasty plague.
Yes.
He,
And brings it out to show.
This freaking weapon of mass destruction.
yep,
Yeah, and she's holding it super carefully.
and it's all pointy.
Yeah.
It's like it's designed to be accidentally prick yourself and drop it.
All the more reason to be careful.
Yeah. And he takes it also carefully, and he seems like entranced momentarily. He just sort of looks at it, and he mutters to himself like, "And behold, a pale horse, and hell followed with them." And he shudders a little. He says, "I will do what is asked of me, but I say now that I am filled with dread of this errand. Once unleashed, I am uncertain of how easy it will be to put aside the daemon's gift." And he puts it away in his robe. "For now, the tears must wait. The time is not yet right to use this weapon against our enemies. I am told you will be staying in our fair city for a while. Towards that end, I have already arranged for a small villa in the Lord's Quarter, the Crowley estate. Hang on.
Iso just slowly glances at Kaiden
Mm-hmm.
and just whispers to him very quietly, "That means you can, let the family free now."
Yes,
I guess I'll have to.
the estate is well stocked and well supplied for a month's stay. There are servants, so your stay will be comfortable. My name is not attached to the place, so I care not what you do there. I will continue my duties as keeper of the Library of Gaster, and should you require any assistance, you have but to seek me out. We will not meet openly in the library. Instead, contact me and I will arrange a suitable place.
Tira wants to know if he can buy books instead of just coming in here.
Nerd!
He knows he's a nerd.
Oh, it's okay. Isol's a nerd too.
Nerds!
I can arrange for something if you believe that it will further our cause.
Tira says knowledge always.
Always aids our cause.
Well spoken. There's one more thing. In exchange for the tears, I was commanded to give you these. And he produces a small bag of black jewels, one for each of you.
Is this money?
He shakes his head, actually. He says, each of you has an iron circlet, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
He produces one of his own, and it has a black jewel mounted on it. And he says, merely place the jewel in the center, and the crown will be strengthened. It is a gift of...
Place the jewel in the center.
It is a gift of Thorn's esteem. Alright, your circlet is... Tyr's circlet now gives him a +2 enhancement bonus to wisdom.
Yes.
Yep, basically it's now... Your circlet is now also a headband of whatever mental stat you want, +2.
Charisma! Oh god, no,
Yeah, so-
Karasu can lie better.
Yeah, so I imagine wisdom for Kaiden, wisdom or charisma for Isol, whichever.
I take it you gave me wisdom because you...
Because I knew that gunslingers use wisdom.
Yes. Because I was thinking, wait, maybe I do.
Yeah, here's the problem. Here's the problem for me. Dampier's benefit from charisma, but clerics benefit more from wisdom and charisma. So it's
What
like,
helps you? What helps your class most? Simple as that.
Okay, Mitchell.
What
Pick-
do you-
pick-
wisdom
yeah.
Except for the channeling, just charisma for some dumbass reason.
Yeah, pick whatever one's most appropriate to you.
Okay.
And yeah, the circlets retain their previous powers as well.
Nice.
Cool.
Permanent +2. Woo!
Oh,
Is there anything else any of you would like to know?
somebody stop Karasu from saying something snarky. He'll do it.
Isol just holds
Tira
up a
covers his
hand
mouth.
toward, and here's okay. Here, out of character here. This is what I'm thinking. Then would he know about what's going on within the internal affairs at Volturna?
You can ask him.
Okay. So we are to be heading for the Vale of Turner. What are the state of affairs in area?
Let me see if he has anything to say about that.
Your mom.
Merely curious. Just out of curiosity. Meanwhile, Karasu is just gonna pouty pout.
It is a beautiful place, shining beacon of nature's faith. I've been there before. What would you like to know?
Let's see.
How often do phoenixes pass by?
Well, that was not the only question I had in mind. The other was how to phrase this. How is the state of the church? And do they feel comfortable where they're at? Do they feel like they need to blame one another in order to gain sort of ground?
Ah, you're a wise little one. The Vale of Valterna houses the largest number of divine matron casters in all of Talongard. What this means is that the rest of the matron faithful are often a little bit jealous of them. Casters are actually, well, they're not given any particular clout in the matron faith. They are instead considered to be chosen by Mitra for a purpose, and it is their job to seek that purpose out. I imagine that the Veil is only being protected by the minimum amount of guardians and outside help that is deemed strictly necessary, especially during this time of war, due in part to that jealousy. They're usually considered to handle their own affairs, which is advantageous for you, I imagine.
Oh, yes. That could very well happen.
It doesn't mean that it's not well guarded, mind you. It just means that it's not impossible to be breached. Now,
Exactly.
is there anything else you would like to know?
Isa glances over to the rest of the group, seeing what 2 cents they have in mind.
Tyr doesn't care.
All of
Something that
Karasu's
you're a little curious
questions are
about.
snarky and unserious. Sorry, go on.
Kaiden's gonna ask him about Weatherby. Specifically, if what like their what the areas, what the most popular theater is.
Weatherby? Yes, there is a theater that was recently opened up in Weatherby, actually. Now I've got to look that up. Yeah, there actually is. Let me just find it here.
Okay.
Yes, the new Barrington in the Round Theater near the edge of Weatherby on the western side. Why? Are you interested in some shows?
I'm interested in putting on one myself, actually. I travel with a little bit of talent. I'd like to put her to good use.
Alright. You're trusted by our master, so I imagine you won't do anything rash or foolish.
Thank you.
And you. He looks at Isel.
Yes.
Dampier?
I knew your father.
See, I swear. Actually, where Yuri was going with this. Yes, I am a Dampier. My
Interesting.
name is Iselia.
I had a feeling it was.
I knew your father.
If I might make a suggestion, not far from where you're staying, a few blocks down, is an old Barkan cemetery. I suggest you pay it a visit one night.
I will keep it in mind. Thank you very much.
And I want someone to make an intelligence check.
Oh, intelligence. Okay, Abby.
Because you guys have clearly forgotten this thing. But I'm going to see if your character's remembered.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
Lord.
so-
Wow. The
It's
one
all
time.
remembers.
Good. Let's see how much Karasu doesn't remember, because he never remembers shit.
Alright. Isel, you may have recalled that in the horn, in the trophy room, there was a plaque that read Iris of Gastonhall. And on that plaque, you guys found a tiny silver ring. Did you guys keep that, or did you sell it?
We kept it.
What was it?
It was a
I
tiny
got-
silver ring.
If it was just up in the loot sheet, I probably sold it.
It probably didn't have a price attached to it.
I believe I said it was like 2 gold pieces or something. Or like 10.
And I can't hear much about the people. I'm just under the assumption that we kept it.
It wasn't worth being sold anyway. It was too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm
really worth it.
yeah, I was thinking of holding on to it.
Because I remember you guys were talking about selling it, and I was trying to get you guys to keep it, but I don't remember if you did or not.
Well, I wasn't
I
there.
think we kept it.
I think we kept it.
The round was really, really awesome to the horn.
Because if you ever hinted that we should keep it, we probably kept it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, Iris of Gastonhall. You guys remember Like, you know that Gastonhall is a large city in Talengard, blah, blah, blah. But you guys were all like, we should probably just get rid of it. It's not worth anything. Let's just sell it. It's not magical or anything. Like, and I was like, oh my guys, come on. Please.
I remember
Take the
us
hint.
saying, let's just hold on to it anyway, just to be safe.
All right.
Yeah, we did say that. So.
Let's say that with Isel's enormous intelligence and forward-thinkingness, she pocketed the ring at one point and decided to
Yes.
keep it, just in
She
case.
would. We would sell it.
She would hold on to it if she thought that, there was
Listen, Karasu would sell everything that is not nailed down.
Yeah, all the more reason for ISIL to be pocketing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest.
And you are gripped by a sudden urge, as though the plot itself was telling you, take hold of that ring, show it to this man.
And ISIL just, digs into a little a bag here and holds the ring out to him. Perhaps this might help.
Honestly, there's plenty of ways to just be like, hey, what about this ring, to various people, or even just making a knowledge check. But this guy has specific lines for it, so I thought I'd just have him do it.
Yeah. That's okay.
And he says, where'd you find that? That
And
couldn't
the
have...
one.
At your mom's house.
Because he looks it over and he goes, that could very well be the ring of the legendary lost Princess Iris. She vanished.
Which was you, Isel.
She vanished a century ago.
Like
that-
you, Isel.
They.
With that ring, you could doubtless get an audience with the Duke. If you find
Your
the
father, Isel.
if you find the princess's bones by city law, the Duke would have to do you one favor. It's an old, ridiculous law created by the decree of Iris's grief-stricken father after her disappearance. Of course, you would need a 100-year-old skeleton of a half-elven maiden to earn that, but you might be able to find one lying around, you know.
It's entirely possible. We did hear rumors about there being a bounty on a Medusa out in the mountains.
Yes. And I'm not saying it has to be the same skeleton, it just has to be a female,
A skeleton.
half-elven skeleton of about 100 years old.
It doesn't even have ears. What he
The best part is, with magic, we can just, Make things look older than they are.
Make them look half elven, whatever that is.
Alright. Is that everything from you?
Yes. I think.
Why is your head cone shaped? No, I didn't.
No! No! No.
Don't worry, I didn't ask that.
Disintegrate.
Oh!
Beautiful.
Well then. With that, we only have one more matter to settle. Lucy. I don't know if Lucy has a full name or not.
Okay. For a second there, Karasu was about to be like, if it's about money, no, it's mine. It's all mine.
Karasu, no!
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, he'll call her Lucine because he's the kind of guy who would do that. Lucine. This is the group that I've told you about. You are aware that once you have left my sight, our deal is then officially on. You are to serve this group to the utmost, without question. And if I hear even the hint that you may be working against us in some way, you know what will happen. Everyone,
Yes.
this is yes. This is yes, Lucine Sanctus?
Sarkis.
Sarkis. This is Lucine. This is Lucine. No, I just can't find it. This is Lucine Sarkis. She is a faithful of Mitra who has seen the error of her ways. She sees.
We've already talked.
She sees the future written in the sand and has decided to join us for the sake of her family. She's managed to convince me, at the very least, that she will not be a hindrance. Now, if she does pose a problem, you need only remind her that her child is safely in my care.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Karasu
can you say that again?
kind of nods and he goes, "Yep, definitely reminds me of ninja school."
Isa merely nods. She's not gonna question anything.
She has talents that you may find useful in your exploits. That is why I decided to have her come along with you rather than be one of the patsies that I used to deliver the tears to the populace. If you find her too much of a burden, I will take her back. Do not worry. And with that done, I'm off. I have a library to keep to.
Wait, what about those books that you said you
Oh.
let me buy?
Yes, I can arrange for something. Just give me a list and I'll find prices for you.
So if Tyr gets those decializing, and this one, and this one, I want 2 copies of this one.
Is there any,
Isa gets right to work on having to write down just the general list of information that she might need.
Are there any particular books that you want, or just like stories and stuff?
Mostly stories and stuff. Some stuff on the Shadow Plane. He wants to see what exactly people think on the material plane.
All right. Basically, you can get that sort of stuff for like 150 gold.
Cool.
And he leaves. So the manor that you guys can stay in now is number 4 on the Gaston Hall map.
Woo!
I still would like to very quietly remind Kaiden that he may now let the family, that he had personal, free now.
He might
Why are
have to
you
hit them
acting-
on the head a few times, though, to make them forget.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Leolda
how
asks
memory works.
Isol
I'm
why
actually,
she acts so good alliance.
To be fair, they did not wrong us. Therefore, we don't have to.
alright.
And so what if they didn't wrong us?
We were not ordered to kill them. Therefore, we do
Listen,
We
not.
don't have to be ordered to do anything.
And Lucy's going and helping, so don't worry. She can futz with their memories.
See, Leolda does not like the whole help the people thing.
Of course you wouldn't.
She's an anti-paladin. If she did like it, that'd be...
She doesn't have to be
She'd
party
lose
to
her
it.
powers.
She can go kick
Yeah.
puppies somewhere.
Well, that's true. She did. She threatened to pull Karasu's ears when they first met.
It's true. Karasu was not receptive to that.
Just to kick a
But
puppy.
then she agreed. To pay him every time she wanted to pet them. So
And that
then
was
all
okay.
was well. All was well.
Anyways, yeah, we'll let the family go. But
Okay.
Lucy has some kind of way of
Futzing
Just
with
in their
their
memory.
brains.
yeah, then we could do this easier. Otherwise, I may have to bring Karasu along, and we'll just have to lie our ass off out of this. It was a top secret mission by the governor. You make it.
He can manage. It was a case of mistaken identity. Oh my god! Oh, we are so sorry. We got information that there were some Asmodean worshippers. Oh, this was the wrong address. Oh well, that's embarrassing. Clerical error. Sorry.
Clerical error.
Of course, blame it on the paperwork guy.
Let me tell you, my dad actually got arrested because of a clerical error. It happens.
Okay. I'll just say that spell works. Hang on, I'll look it up.
Say,
Okay. You know that the memory expires after 1 hour per level.
Yeah, but it says that the lingering memory lasts so long that it kind of seems true, and they're not going to question it unless they know for a fact it's false.
Yeah, alright, I'll give it to you. And then you let them out. And even if they, catch on, whatever, you were probably in disguise. And it was a crime that happened on the other side of the city to where you are now currently living. So it's
but
really...
they will never forget Kaiden's fist.
And how he threatened to use it!
You're really, not in any danger of being caught for that.
Lodi, Lodi, thank you.
It's a big city.
And now we have a nice big mansion with servants and what a life!
It's a beautiful little place, Crowley Manor. Well stocked, clean, dark if you need it to be. Good place to get some crafting done.
Nice.
Sweet.
Dear.
Now we can pretend to be angry Italians with shifty business.
So,
But first, here's the question: should we have Iso go to the cemetery now, or wait till tomorrow evening?
Basically-
let me ask the question.
Basically, the stay at Gaston Hall can last as long as you want it to. Like, really, it's not like a week-by-week thing. It's just do the things that you want to do in Gaston Hall, and then, yeah.
Okay.
And then we can fuck off.
Yep.
Yeah. What is it that you wanted to ask, Uni? I mean, V.
I have a gun I want there.
A gun to repair.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can spend your time on that if you want to.
Duskade.
Fix the boomstick, Dusky.
My broomstick's broken.
Duskade's like our.
She's able to repair the gun to working condition pretty quickly and then start upgrading it.
Yay! I only wanted to add one upgrade to it, I think. Oh yeah, I just wanted to add on hope because it would
That's
be
a
too
good thing to have.
it'd be too expensive to add axiomatic.
Yeah. So it would be, let's see, unholy plus one. So yeah, it would take like most of the month, but it would get done before you had to you would need it next. Hopefully, because you're in Gaston Hall, like taking a break, living it up.
No rest for the wicked.
And yeah, so Isla, would you like
Listen, I
to?
don't know why that joke hasn't come up sooner.
I think.
It's been bouncing around.
Yeah, I think we've dropped
meant
it a few
this
times.
session.
Oh, this session? Oh,
Because we're
That's a good point.
specifically supposed to be taking a break.
we're too busy being evil.
If I had to make an episode name, it would probably be Rest for the Wicked.
Ah.
Ow. I done poked myself.
So
Don't do
Isol,
that. That hurts.
Yes,
would you like to go visit the graveyard?
if it's evening time, yes.
Yeah, it'd be nighttime.
Yeah. So, but before that, should she have someone go with her just to be on the safe side?
Alright, Kaiden will go with her.
I was thinking Kaiden, Lialda.
What does she
Muscles.
do?
Muscles. Do you want to make this a group outing?
I saw after hearing about the clue and after being asked that she was a Damphia, so it might.
Gotcha.
Tira will go, I guess.
It's a party, you know. It seems like most of us are going. We might as well all go. We're a great big Italian family. We go everywhere together.
Duskade
A
stays, but
party
she
for a reason.
Duskade stays to work
On the gun, yeah.
where he goes.
She can stay and work on the gun. In the meantime, the big Italian family, we gotta go pay our respects to the big old bada boom, the grandpa, you know. He died a couple of years back. Haven't had the time to pay our respects. It's time to go.
Beautiful.
The big kahuna sleeping with the fishes.
What was that, Tira?
Forget about it.
Still.
Okay.
Jesus, that's stealth.
Alibi.
It's because it's dark out.
At the tail. One of the many alibis, I should say.
You sound ridiculous, Lucy says. Karasu looks her straight in the face and says, your mom sounds ridiculous.
After about 20 minutes of your midnight graveyard tour, I would like you to roll a perception check.
Perception.
That's funny.
37!
All right. You guys all spotted as a darting, supernaturally quick and emaciated looking figure
You know who doesn't see it? Karasu.
with
Oh shit, I gotta.
razor
You
sharp
don't have to.
with razor sharp fangs trips over a shallow gravestone and lands on his face.
Oh my.
Alright.
And he gets up immediately and is like
Whoa. That is awfully rude. No,
and he
thanks.
and you can roll knowledge religion.
Die,
I'm
monster.
pretty sure it's obvious what it is, but okay.
Yes. It is so fucking obvious.
Holy shit, it's a vampire spawn.
Oh my god!
Leota knows everything about it.
Tira,
There's a vampire
Everything
spawn
about
anywhere.
Tira's
Holy
gonna
crap.
unload on it this month.
Listen. Leota's only knowledge is knowledge religion.
So Leota is super
Let her-
proud to know this.
Let her be smart sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep, you are aware that it is a vampire spawn, which is a lesser kind of vampire created by a real vampire.
It's working for someone. Is this how Dom became a vampire?
More vampire than Isol, but less vampire than a vampire.
So, do we want to talk to it at all? If not, Tira's gonna.
It actually kind of stares at Isol for a while.
I see.
Alright, Tira readies action,
Do you
and it's hurt.
remember what happened?
What is your name?
Icelia.
His eyes widen. Iselia. You must see the master. Quickly. And he, dashes off toward a large mausoleum.
Well, let's go. There's no
Kaiden
time to
will
waste.
dash after him.
Tira keeps in action ready to blow something's brains.
So yes, we go after him.
Okay.
Yeah.
To the mausoleum!
Yep. You follow him to the big old
Wait, I
mausoleum.
need to do something really important.
Okay,
My
then
god, I can't roll above a certain question either. Yeah. 36.
Okay, so what was Kosu rolling for? Stealth?
Probably.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
What do you think he has a 32 in anything else?
Bluff?
No, his bluff ain't nearly that high.
Nah.
Sleight of hand.
Maybe. Probably
His
not.
Sleight of hand is a pretty stupid high too, I won't lie, but it's not a stealth.
And you move into this mausoleum, and it goes downward, of course, as mausoleums do. But it opens up into a really nice looking kind of banquet hall sort of situation. Very dark, mind you. And for a while you don't see anything really. But then a few you notice a few of other vampire spawn just sort of either cling to walls and stuff like that, just sort of looking at you. And
If Karasu wasn't stealth, he'd be like, ooh, look at the edge convention. Ooh, spooky.
and and suddenly a plume of mist rises from the floor directly in front of Isel, and out emerges a very well-dressed and dangerous-looking vampire. Karasu, you are connected enough to the criminal underground of Gaston Hall to know that this guy is probably the legendary where the hell is his name? The fucking legendary Prince Gaius.
Does he like candy?
And he eats certain kinds. And
it's okay.
from what you know about him, first, like, basically every major crime lord in Gaston Hall claims to, like, typically has some sort of connection to some mysterious figure, and it's always assumed to be Prince Gaius. And every once in a while, some knight gets it in his head to go out and slay the infamous Prince Gaius that most people think is a myth. And
so
he doesn't.
Has Karasu dealt with this guy personally before then?
You have dealt with him through multiple third parties.
But never in person.
Yeah, to the point that like, you were pretty heavily involved in Gaston Hall's crime for a little while, but you never met face to face, and you were never completely sure if he was real. But now it's pretty clear that he's not just some intimidation tactic that Gaston Hall uses, the Gaston Hall's crime people.
Pretty nice little operation you got going.
Thank you. And he places.
Karasu will poof out, and then he's like, "Oh, guess you are real."
Oh. You were the troublemaker. The one who got arrested.
Yeah, not my greatest moment, but I'm gonna fix that.
You made some strange friends, Acelia.
It's your father.
Well,
You've actually never met this guy before.
yeah, remember, technically, Isol never met her father. She doesn't know anything about her dad. Well, I'm very fortunate that I found myself good company and be able to survive all these years. So, forgive
Lealda
me.
mocks, gagging in the corner.
Though, forgive me for being rude. I know nothing about you. My name is Iselia, and you are...
I am Gaius. He places his hands on your shoulders and he says,
My daughter.
there's much for us to speak of.
I'm sorry, okay? It's just...
This is amazing.
He's laid it on so thick.
Yes, he is. You should stop so we can continue on with the story.
Okay, alright.
Anyway, Uni, you were
Yes,
saying.
Please continue.
there's much that we need to speak of. Let's have a seat. And there is, like, a table there.
Very well.
No food, really. Not really a food person, but it's well decorated. And he asks you to sit next to him.
And she will do so.
And he says, I know not of what your friends' stories are, but you travel with them, so I assume that they're safe. You come from good
Yes.
stock. Acelia, what was the name of your adoptive parent?
Oh. Saltier.
What was that? Was he a Dampier as well?
Yes, he was.
Saltier. He spent many years playing the role of your father, did he not?
Yes, both as a father and a big brother. He tried his best to raise me.
He probably didn't tell you about his connections to me.
No. In fact, if I recall correctly, he hadn't spoken much of anything about the vampiric line.
He most likely wanted to keep you in the dark about it. It's dangerous. He wanted you to live a normal life, I imagine, but he was loyal to me, a spawn of mine, but he proved himself time and again. And one day, many years ago now, he sacrificed himself for us. For you see, one of my spawn had made a mistake and had exposed us to the people of Gaston Hall a little too thoroughly. They knew for some time that there was a vampire, or several, on the loose. Zaltir threw them off their scent by making some activity outside of Gaston Hall and forcing the guard to come to him. He thought that he could get away and evade them, but as I'm sure you know, that's not how it went.
No.
Oh shit.
In fact, while he was sick, the paladins and the clerics, they had found us while I was trying to attempt a ritual to cure his sickness. That is how they found me and imprisoned alongside Karasu.
It fills me with what I assume was sadness one long time ago. Now, I find it appropriate that I would have an audience with you as his, the closest thing to his heir. If you would like me to do anything for you while you are here in Gaston Hall, you need merely ask.
Make him turn you into a vampire.
His heir?
You are really the only person that Zaltir had a significant connection to. There were, of course, a few others, but none who we would consider his daughter or family.
Then it really was by mere chance when he found me.
Become a vampire.
It's the only way.
Do it.
It is your destiny.
Wait, no, you're saying it wrong. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Become a vampire. Do it.
I suppose there is one thing I would like to ask, though it might not come so easy to do.
I'm willing to
I
listen.
have been thinking. There has been at least a few times over this past year or so that I have thought maybe it would be better if I had become a vampire.
You wish to fully embrace your bloodline, then?
Yes. I already understood long ago that I could not live a life that was only solidified for me the moment that I was discovered and arrested. There is nothing left for me but to embrace what I am given and the best of what I have.
Normally I would do this for you happily, but I am afflicted. Over the centuries, my blood has grown thin. I can no longer make true vampires. Only... And he kind of points around at the vampire spawn.
I see.
Any spawn that I release from my service sickens and dies. But Well, I've heard of something that may be able to cure me of this.
Oh? And what would that be?
It's known as the Chalice of Aurelius Vestromo.
Gesundheit.
One moment, Ginny. I need to write this down. Chalice of what?
Chalice of Gesundheit.
Aurelius, A-U-R-E.
A-U-R-A what?
A-U-R-E.
E.
L-I-U-S.
L-I-U-S.
Vestromo. Vestromo.
Chalice of I.S.
Powerful and terrible relic. The very thing that brought vampirism into my bloodline so many centuries ago. With it I would grow in power greatly, and I would once more be able to make true vampires.
And how would I be able to acquire the chalice?
It is guarded. Have you heard of the Vale of Alterno?
Yes. I am planning to go there in a matter of days, if not weeks. Relatively soon.
Then it seems this is destiny. He smiles. Actually, I gotta look for something here.
Okay, out of character, I am like real super happy that there's a bunch of, some of the characters' personal agendas having to coincide with one area that we're just gonna end up going to anyway.
Yeah, it just so happened that there was actually a vampire that needed something in the Vale in this story.
Makes me feel glad that I actually am trying a Dhampir character.
Mm-hmm.
See, because there's the thing. I thought it would be too OP if I went just vampire. I thought it would be easier and a little bit more okay if I went with Dhampir.
Why do you care about being OP?
I mean, look at what I did with Vlad. I knew about the OP thing, but I said, then don't give me everything at first.
Okay, fair point.
It's all about communicating with the GM about certain things, and if it's no, then it's no.
Yeah.
Move on.
Basically what'll happen is Vlad gets the vampire template, la-di-da. If it turns out that he's just absolutely making a joke out of every combat afterward, I might be like, alright.
I assure you, he will not.
No, probably not. But they recommend that, hey, why don't you have them be a level below everyone else or something to make up for the stat increases. But that's only if,
It's absolutely necessary.
Yeah. Like, Dominic did get that. And yeah, okay. And
Is this how Dom became a vampire, by the way?
No, he just took the chalice and used it himself.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
but it was a much more involved process because he had to use it himself. So he he's agreed to that, and he looks at the rest of you and he says, if you're able to do this, I would be able to confer the gift onto more of you. Would anyone be interested?
Karasu thinks for a moment, and then he's like, no, I think my sister would abuse that power way too much, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Throwing holy water in your face.
More like being able to control him, what with, the whole
undead
necromancer thing.
Ah.
Leelda actually, pauses for a moment and gives a little awkward, would I be able to see in the dark?
You very well could.
Of course, we hunt in the night constantly.
I'll give it a thought.
Very well. Though, for Acelia, I'm willing to do this for virtually nothing, basically, just the ability to do it. If anyone else would like to, I may have a small request if you're heading to the Vale of Alterna already.
Listen, the moment, like he said, for everyone else, Karasu immediately reached for his wallet, like, no.
Oh my goodness.
I doubt this would cost anything out of your pocket.
Living in a place like Talongard for so long makes you curious about certain things. And I must say, it would be quite the experience to feed on the blood of an angel. If you're headed that way already.
Sounds interesting.
No, you needn't consider it now. But if you were to bring some angel's blood, I will owe you another gift, which you may take at your leisure. On that note, where are you headed to the Vale of Alterna for?
Oh, you know, bringing, you know, down with Mitra and all that. We got some stuff to contribute to the war effort.
Isn't that where the Medusa is, or is that where the Phoenix is?
The Medusa is...
Phoenix is.
Yeah, the Phoenix is there. The Medusa is, like, outside of town somewhere.
Meanwhile, I so discreetly reveal, you know, shows to, you know...
Don't show him! Do not show him that! Do
Don't?
not!
Okay, she won't.
No.
No, okay.
Alright, so you're not allowed to think without somebody else.
Showing off that thing is like the worst thing we could do to a vampire whose motives we do not know about.
Also, if you strongly present a holy symbol to to a vampire, they go like, "Ow!"
Yeah, they have to like do a DC 25 to like get over it.
Even if it's unholy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like holy they don't like holy symbols. And they have to do it every turn, by the way. The save.
Anyway.
Well, if you must
You're
know.
lucky I didn't say that Lucy has her symbol being like hanging off her belt like I originally intended.
Must know there is a contract that I must fill, and having to fulfill my mission lies within the veil.
This has something to do with the Bugbear army, then.
Yes.
Maybe.
No.
Well, you did mention that you're contributing to the war effort. I assume that you mean that you are on the side of the Bugbears.
We're not confirming nor denying.
I see. Hang on, I
It'd
gotta...
be bad to outright incriminate ourselves, so it's best if we just leave implications.
Alright, so already incriminated.
I do have a vested interest in ensuring that Gaston Hall remains a prosperous place.
Question.
If you know...
Don't. Yeah, go ahead.
If you know anything about the movements of the Bugbear forces and whether they plan on attacking Gaston Hall, that would be helpful.
We will let you
If
know
we
what we can.
hear any little thing, maybe we'll point it your way.
I will be sure to let you know.
Very well.
So why do you speak in absolute?
Where was that, V?
Why do you speak in absolutes?
I will.
Stop being such a yes man. The only person you're allowed to be a yes man to is Valeria.
Oh.
Fine.
Very well. Well, if there's any further concerns from here on, you know where to find me.
Of course.
Try to keep quiet about this conversation. I like to keep my profile low.
What conversation?
He smiles and then he turns into smoke and leaves.
Well, that was
Alright, interesting guy.
Oh, that
Guess
was
we have
really
an angel to
enlightening.
kill.
And Lealda immediately just baps.
When we have left a
Ow.
good enough distance away back home, Karasu just says, "Vampires sure are dramatic, aren't they?"
Ah,
You know
yes, yes, they are.
ISO needs a serious lesson on
Serious lesson
She's-
on what?
how to be an evil villain. That's
Well,
it.
she's not evil alive.
Yeah, she's neutral.
Neither is Tira, but
Even Tira knows you don't speak in absolute. You don't say,
Yeah, no.
I'm certain I will.
I mean, Prince Gaius did, for the most part.
Yeah, it's
Because he
a
Yeah,
needs
well,
a-
that's
thing.
different.
If you
And
bring me the
also,
thing,
aren't
I
they-
will help you.
Because
Well-
he's trying to show that he's in power. We weren't in a position to, bargain with him at all.
yeah, he kind of had all his spawn eyeing us from everywhere.
Well, this scene was essentially meant to, be a plot development point for ISIL and also, give you guys some
Yeah,
ins.
we just kind of tagged along.
Yeah, you tagged along and
Its purpose.
you threw shade on ISIL the entire time. Quit being mean.
Yes. No.
They always throw shade on ISIL. This isn't the only time they've done this, Uni.
It's because Isil's too nice.
Karasu throws shade on
She is
everyone, though.
sheltered.
Yeah, the vampires.
She is sheltered.
Shelter does not mean nice.
I mean, the vampires find it endearing because it's like, hey, you were the
Say, I'm not nice.
adoptive child thing of one of our really cool spawn. So hey, let's be buddies. Anyway, I thought we should end the session here because it's very late.
Yes,
Okie
it
dokie.
is. It is.
We can continue. We can continue our shenanigans in Gaston Hall.
Our shade.
In
Another
2
day.
weeks.
In 2 weeks, where you will probably spend most of your time in the Red Quarter, getting all kinds of pissed, and
Hell yes.
maybe punching monsters.
Oh, yeah.
So, alright, I'll bring Aso along. And, maybe get her out into the, the bad part of town for a little bit. We'll, teach her how to be a true evil villain.
No, don't throw her into the deep end.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly what
Don't
we're
worry.
gonna do.
Kaiden's
She's
gonna
not-
pick Isol up and hold her over, go charging into the red court.
Just like when he charged into the ocean with Tira.
That's right.
Well,
Tira is a negative
All
5.
comes full circle.
Well,
Tira is
the
what?
It's
-5 swim.
the battle in the battle against the pit fights are all 1-on-1. So that'll be interesting if you want to throw Isel into the ring against whatever monster is in there, because she won't get any help.
I don't know, maybe we should start with baby steps. Maybe throwing her in the ring is a little... You see, I just can't help but remember that one barbarian that smashed her into a fine paste and think that that's probably a bad idea.
No, it'll be alright.
Are they death matches?
I would assume so. It's an underground pit match. People want to see death and blood.
People want to see blood. It's true.
Alright, then throw Tira in there and let.
You mean Tira
Wait,
with
wait.
his no gun?
No, with
Yeah.
his exact gun.
Ah,
He'll just glamour it to look like a glove. Like,
Oh my god.
Like a throwing knife. No. Glamour it to look like a
Sure,
throwing
no.
knife.
Oh no, you're allowed to bring your weapon in. What I'm saying is you only get your musket because your other weapon is in the shop.
oh yeah, of course. But the musket is reliable.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I
I'm gonna
also-
get off the call now because I'm sleepy.
Yep. And I will stop recording.